Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are welcome to yet another episode of your favorite podcast, Loose Talk. Round of applause for everybody. Round of applause. You gotta do it. Round of applause for everybody. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody listening. Thank you for listening. I wanted to say tuning in, but I don't think anybody's using any radio knobs now to tune in,
That's
right?
old
But
school,
thank you
huh?
for as old school, right? But thank you for checking in. Thank you for downloading. Thank you for catching us where we are. Big shout out to everybody listening to the podcast. I want to give a big shout out to people who have lost someone. That's what I want to give a shout out to. That's my
Okay.
special shout
I'm
out.
sorry.
Shout out to
Sorry about
everybody.
that.
Shout out to everybody just listening from everywhere. People are listening from. Let me start with that. People are listening from from Cyprus, from Russia, from South Korea, from China, from Australia, New Zealand. People are listening to us from Greece, the Netherlands, uh, Brazil, Argentina. That's what the data says. Hey, it's not me. That's what the data says. Of course. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to people, of course, listening from Nigeria, Ghana, so many places, the US, different cities in the US, different cities in Canada, different cities in the UK. Shout out to you guys. My people listening from Edinburgh. Shout out to you. My people listening from Tokyo. Shout out to you. Okay, that's and so many other places. If I didn't call out your city, just know that I have it here in my heart. Um, Shout out to everybody who has lost somebody. That's why I want to give a shout out. That's my special shout out today. If you've lost somebody, right, and you think about that person from time to time, shout out to you. Shout out to people who have phone numbers they can't call anymore. They can't call the numbers anymore because people on the other side are not going to pick. They've left us. Shout out to you. What can I ask you a question? What really
Yeah,
happens to a person's digital footprint when they leave the earth? Is there, I think I stumbled on something before. I can't remember, but I think I stumbled on something where you have the ability to take care of, everything from your social media to your bank accounts. Like, there was something I think I stumbled on before. I can't remember. I'll probably go and look for it.
I
But there
think
should be that thing that is, that,
You have this app that you there's this app that you always recommend to us.
yes.
The app that you always recommend to us, last pass or what I've forgotten.
I think it's good.
Yeah, and you've forgotten and you can't remember because you've not, my recommendations have not gotten through your
No,
your
it has
your your very
no,
thick brain.
it has
That's the
gotten through.
problem.
It has gotten through. We downloaded
Yeah.
it and the farm downloaded it, right? But I'm not sure if like we've gone through, but
Yes.
it's something that we always talk about that we'll do. I don't know why we've not
Yes.
even done it. You know why? Like recently, we've been all over the place, but it's something that we'll do though. Definitely.
Yeah, you should. You should. There's also one password if you don't want to use LastPass. One password is also great. But it doesn't have that trigger thing where if something happens to you accidentally and you have like all your passwords, account numbers, whatever stored in one place, your significant other, if you sign them up, they can actually trigger it. And depending on the hours you set, you can set 1 hour, 6 hours, 1 day, or 2 weeks, right? If you don't respond to that trigger, which ends up in your email, then all the data from your own end goes to your significant other. So that's really dope. Like I have that signed up. It makes a lot of sense. You can write your will in there. You can write letters in there. You can put any sort of thing you want to put in there. You can put in there, right? So that's really dope. That's for LastPass, and you have to be on the family tier to access that feature. But one password doesn't have that feature. I actually reached out to them because I wanted to migrate from LastPass to one password recently, and I asked them for that feature, and they said they didn't have it. However, you can always store your own username and password somewhere that your significant other can then pick up from there and access everything in your account. So that I mean close enough. I just like one password. I think in terms of like innovation, LastPass is not innovating as fast as
Oh,
possible.
okay.
So like they're not adding new features, they're not becoming slicker with their design, their UX is not as and even their UI the UX and UI are not as good as one password. You can see what one password is doing. Um One Password is also in the forefront of um, um, launching. Well, they've launched it, but like rolling out passkeys.
Oh,
So I don't know if you guys have noticed that sometimes you don't even need to type your password anymore. All you need to do is put your finger. If you're using a Mac, put your finger on like the um. I mean, you can use like facial ID or
or finger
thumbprint
thumbprint. Yeah.
ID now as a pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Even on the Windows system, you
Facial
can with the new
recognition.
Windows. Yeah, you can use facial recognition. So passkeys are using more of that now and less of like you passkeys use more of that and less of passwords. So we're going into an era where if you don't remember your password, it's not a big deal. At least on the first level, because your passkeys now do the job.
Mm-hmm.
So passkeys are now a thing, and one password is also in the forefront of that. So I'm really looking at one password and thinking, um do I cross over? And I think the only thing is that it's a bit more expensive, maybe like $10 more per annum. But yeah, I think for the family package on LastPass, it's about $40 for the user per annum. 40 something dollars per annum. Anyways, I was giving a shout out to people who have passed away. So I was asking, like, okay, beyond LastPass and all that, right? If someone passes away, like I would like my Facebook account to be shut down or to be rested. There's a way you want, maybe not shut down, but there's something you want about it. Maybe my Twitter account, maybe some of my other accounts. How do they end up being managed? How do
Um,
subscriptions stop? You know,
for Facebook,
stuff like
you for
yeah,
Facebook, a relative can reach out to the admin team and send them a mail that this person has passed. And I think last time I checked, you just need to send a certificate of death. And once they do
a death
that, then
certificate.
yeah, death certificate, then I guess that account has been archived.
Okay. My point here is it necessary for some, like for people who died, like to have their digital footprint deleted? Is this something that they want? Right? Maybe they want it out there like for people to remember them, or like a sign of, oh, I've lived, or something like that. Is this some I think is a decision that the person itself has to make. Do you understand? And that takes me back to the point that I've always thought about, right? I think there's something that we should. I think these are the things like our lawmakers should be start looking into, right? Very important issues. The idea of assigning a phone number that has been inactive for 3 months to another person is ridiculous to me. I should be able to buy a SIM card and be assigned to that number for life, right? Because sometimes numbers do have some emotional and sentimental attachments to it, right? Because I've seen people talk about, oh, my dad died, and 3 months later I called his number and someone else was using it. It sounds I don't know about you guys, but to me it sounds ridiculous. So I don't like the idea that I'll buy a SIM card. Someone is using a SIM card, they're using the number, and something happens to him, and 2 3 months time, because it's inactive, they just assign the number to someone else. It's ridiculous. And there's cases where the person starts receiving a lot of the other person's bank activities. It's ridiculous. I don't know what you guys think about it.
No, I don't think it's weird. And I'll tell you why. What you're doing when you sign up or you sign up on a telecoms platform, right? Whether it's a contract line or a regular line, what you're doing by paying those subscription fees, whether it's for data or for airtime, you are basically renting the line. You don't own it.
Hmm.
You are buying the microchip, right? When they say I buy a SIM card, you are buying the microchip. The microchip is now the conduit for you to access the network, and you are assigned a number, but you are basically renting that number. You didn't purchase the number itself. It
Mm.
then means that after like maybe 90 days of inactivity, what happens is, the number is reassigned to someone
I don't
else
think it's
because
I
you've
don't think it's
been you
fair, to be very honest.
then if it's not fair, what you're saying is they are going to run out of numbers now.
Hmm.
Number one, they're running out of numbers. Number two, that number, as you see, there is a target. There's a commercial target to that number, and it cannot sit dormant. Everything is being paid for, right? They're ending up paying,
Yeah,
they
the
are
cloud
also paying maybe
services or
GSM.
whatever it is. Yeah.
You understand? So you can't be inactive for 3 months.
Okay.
And that's what leads me to again, how do you sort it out where somebody has passed away? Okay, phone number that is also, attached to that person's like
Accounts,
account that can now be forwarded to the banks. The banks can now, you understand,
deactivate
deactivate
it.
that number
Yeah.
because there's also a will in place. The monies that are in the account are even, distributed accordingly based on maybe the person's will or whatever.
Yeah.
So it still goes back to this whole data approach and all of that. It's very, very important.
I understand. I agree.
Well, and we know, see, I personally know somebody who lost his mom when uni. He lost his mom. His mom had a lot of money in the accounts. He couldn't get the money.
My case is someone died abroad, right? And someone died abroad and they found her SIM card, like her card, her ATM card, right? And the pin written on a piece of paper. And they sent it back to Nigeria for them to start withdrawing the money. And the person they sent it to was withdrawing the money gradually, gradually. Then one time was like, maybe in 2, 3 months time I can start withdrawing the money again without knowing that the ATM card was expiring that month. Until today, they've not been able to get that
Oh,
money. And this is about, I'm telling you, this is about something 80 million or so. Yes, ridiculous amount of money, like around 70 something million naira. They were using ATM to withdraw
so
every
that money is
month.
dormant there
Bro,
now.
it is until they start going through the process of, and it's a long process without proper documentation, especially from the owner of the account to say this is who you give the money to. It's a long, long, long process. Like you trust Nigerian traditional system, which the bank belongs to, right? It's a frustrating long process, right? And I wonder. I would even have to ask them the updates. Yeah,
Yeah, please, I'd like to know what happened. I know someone who worked in the bank who was saying that there are a lot of
yeah,
men who never declared how
to
much
their
they
wives.
had to their
Mm-hmm.
wives, right? So they would pass away, right? And they would see, because the wife also had an
Yeah,
account, they would see if the wife coming to withdraw paltry
Patrice.
amounts. Yeah, sums of money, right? While this guy had millions in account. The guy said he was so touched about one woman who I think had maybe 27,000 naira left and came to like withdraw 5,000. He looked at her and said, "This woman's
Has
husband."
millions.
So apparently, you are
No,
not
you can't.
required to contact any
Yes,
relative of the
yes,
deceased. It is apparent as a banker, it's not your
yeah.
business. If it has to go through the proper channel, which is who is this person next of kin? Let us inform this person, blah blah blah, right? So the guy was too emotional about it and was too pressed about it. So he went, and he went the unorthodox way and contacted the woman and said, "Your husband has a bucket load of money in this account. Go and claim it. You are the only wife, right? Etc. etc." And she did. And she was able to access the money, you know.
That's
Good
that's
Samaritan.
a
So
that's a very, very good banker because the normal practice, like not the normal practice, like the usual practice is that they will start conniving in house to start maybe deducting something, like using deductions to like take money off their accounts
Yeah.
gradually. Nigerian banking system is you guys heard what happened with First Bank recently, right? Where a staff
Yes, sir.
through one reversal scam, duped the bank of to the tune of 40 billion naira. 40 billion, bro.
Now the one where they catch with that too. Now the one where they catch with that too.
40 billion is a lot.
Bro, bro.
40 billion is a lot. That's more than what they're embezzling to build a vice president's mansion.
That's
I
more than
beg.
half. Like
I
that's
beg.
that's like double like double. you know,
You understand?
yeah.
A lot of people
And I
came
can
together to defraud Nigerians by building a mansion,
Spend
right?
more.
And this guy, only one person, ran it almost double. Oh my god.
God damn. God damn. Shout out to Nigerian banks though.
Yeah,
We can't
shout out
say
to
more than
Nigerian
that.
banks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we're done with all the shout outs and all of that. Let's get into it. How was the week like?
My week was good, very productive. I set out to do a lot of things, and I achieved it. It was just all round good. Rested also. It's also necessary to rest. It's not a flex if you work 7 days a week. It's not a flex, ladies and gentlemen, especially men that want to carry the problem of the world on their shoulders. It is not a flex. You need God put it there, a Sabbath. There was a Sabbath for a reason. So I rested, but I did the essential work I had to do. And yeah, it was cool. And I'm ready for the new week, which is going to be turbulent anyway. But still, we're ready. So I had a good week, productive week.
Yeah, I think productive is the
Fantastic,
is a
fantastic.
very perfect is the perfect way to put to sum it up my week. It was productive. Yeah, and like I always say, my work life influences how I feel about my week. So yeah, yeah, it was good.
My week went well. Yeah, got to hang out with a couple of ex-colleagues of mine
Yeah.
Oh,
at
cool.
a conference. No, and funny enough, there was a mixer after the conference. Not a conference. Yeah, more like like a 3 day conference, but a mixer after day one, and so I was a chance to meet up with them and hang out with them. Met a lot of other Nigerians also in the fintech stroke VC ecosystem, which was
Mm.
good. Yeah, I funny enough, I even wanted to attend the conference, when I heard about it, because someone invited me for the mixer. So I'm like, what, let me just, attend the conference as well now. So I went on the website and I saw the tier one ticket, how much it costs. And I immediately erased
Thoughts.
that that thought. Thank you. And just,
You
let's just
deleted
go for the mixer.
it.
Yeah, I mean, if one ticket costs what, close to 4,000 euros, hey,
have
hey, you know,
have you been
um,
in boys' quarters in the VP's house?
you know,
Okay.
do I really need to be there? You start asking yourself those kind of questions. Do I really need to be there? So I went for the mixer and yeah, I had dinner and drinks after, which was really cool. So happy to always do stuff like that. And yeah, here I am today. Hail and hearty. We bless God.
Luciana.
Yeah, we're desperately waiting for Euro 2024 to
In six
start.
days time.
As
Yeah.
we don't have Yes, as we don't have league matches, I am desperately waiting for Euro 2024. And before we get into the proceedings, I always like to knock out like anything sports right out of the bat before we get into other things. So, Ayo, who is your, let's do it like this, top four. So, first, second, third, fourth. Oh, well, in Euros, they don't play third place match. So,
Very
I'll,
efficient people. Very efficient people. I love that.
yeah, no third place
No
match in
time. No
Euros.
thought place.
Is who they are just concerned about who wins. It's very interesting. So let's do this. Who gets to the semifinals for you?
France, definitely.
Yeah.
France will definitely get into the semifinals. Very strong team.
Mm-hmm.
Please remind me again who is in this tournament because only France me I'm supporting.
Y- when I send some of these things to the group, you guys just don't regard. And
Uh,
Steve was complaining today that we didn't read something that the link was broken.
please,
But
please, yes.
I remember sending you guys a telegraph dot uk
Wait, calm down, calm down.
website page that's like a simulator where you could actually simulate the games and everything. And I did mine. I say,
Osage,
"What's yours?" I think
you
it
know
was
that
only Tony.
Osage,
It
you know
was
that
only Tony the rest.
when you send these things, don't forget that we are in Nigeria fighting for our life. So at that point, is that I cannot be checking this thing. I
Don't
didn't
do
know
that.
France.
Don't do that.
Okay,
Don't do that. Don't do that.
okay.
You see, because if you want to go down that route, it's not a good route to go down because it's
Well,
built on fallacy.
okay. Thank
It
you.
it
I
is.
have my I
It
have my
is.
top for sure.
We all have the same 24 hours, and we're all dealing with whatever. And
Now,
wherever I am in part of the world, you can't say I've changed in terms of like stuff I was sharing or stuff I was doing.
no, no,
Can you
obviously
say?
not.
Can you?
Obviously
But you have
not.
You
changed in
can.
your
So
expectation.
so
You've
Maloma.
changed in your expectations of us.
Expect how have I changed your
Like
expectations of you?
you not said,
How
oh, that
this guy
he's
you want?
surviving Nigeria, and you just bluff it off like as if it doesn't matter. It matters in the context of what we're talking about.
I'm a trauma patient. I hope
Yes,
you know I'm a
no, come
trauma
on, man.
patient. This is not you treat a trauma
Come on,
patient.
man.
Come on.
You did like
Come
say
on.
not be.
And this is
Let's
mental
say
health
you don't know
month
what's in
for
the
men.
happen.
Mental health
I know
month
it's.
for
I know
for
what's
men.
happening. I know what's happening. And those guys, they forget where they come from.
Sorry.
I know it's fine. It's fine.
Mm,
That's it's fine.
mm. God day.
Hey, yeah,
God day.
yeah, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this, Ayo. Well, okay,
Top
you know
four, top
what? We
four.
quickly do a no. Let's even do a quick Euro 2024 simulation. Let's do that. Can we do it?
Let's go. Let's do it now.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's quickly do it.
Let's
All
go.
right. So we
Let's
have the group
go.
stage. Group stage A:
Mm-hmm.
Germany, Scotland, Hungary, and Switzerland. Who comes first?
Germany and Switzerland.
Ah, Germany sucks, but Germany and Switzerland should escape, sha. To
No, you
come out
guys
of that
can do it.
group.
I will put the simulator on two different parts. It's fine. Don't worry. So if you don't need to agree. So
No,
who
but
comes
I'm not
first?
saying you have to agree. Germany,
Okay.
Germany will come first, then
Who,
Switzerland will come second.
okay. So you're saying Germany tops the group.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
hosts, let's give them that. They're actually a better side for than the last tournament.
Okay. So you are saying Germany tops the group. Steve, what do you say? Germany tops the group
Yeah,
as well.
I'll give it to them as hosts. Yes, they do.
Okay. Who comes second? You have Scotland,
Switzerland.
Hungary, and
It's between
Switzerland.
Hungary and Switzerland. I'll
Switzerland,
choose
the people that make the finest watches
Hungary.
and chocolate.
Let, 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 let
So
me go with Switzerland. Let me go with Switzerland.
Switzerland second
Yeah.
for you. So you guys don't believe in you don't believe in John McGinn and
No,
Scott
no, 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 no.
McTominay
Don't.
No be only Scott my tournament.
and
Is it
Kieran
the
Tierney.
Nope.
no be only the
Okay. Who comes third?
Oh, Hungary.
No, I'll give it to Scotland.
Sobos. Team
I'll give it to Scotland.
Soboslai.
First.
No, no, Hungary.
Okay, Steve says Hungary. Ayo says Scotland. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Group B, we have España, Croatia,
Mm-hmm.
Italia, and Albania.
Italy and Croatia.
Italy comes first.
Italy comes second. Croatia will come first.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
don't give a
And
fuck
who
about
comes
Spain.
third? And who comes third and
Spain.
fourth?
Spain will come
Spain is
third.
third,
Then
right?
yeah.
Albania fourth. Steve?
Hmm. Um. Italy comes. Croatia is in our group, Abby.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. It is Spain, Croatia, Italy, and Albania.
Spain tops that group because Spain topped their group in qualifiers.
Mm-hmm.
Italy second to England, if I remember very well. Croatia. Okay, so it's England, is Spain, Italy, Croatia. I feel Croatia will still qualify as third, right? But they will finish third.
Okay. Sorted.
Okay, sorry.
Group
Let me
C,
change it.
you have
Let me change it.
Slovenia.
Spain, Croatia.
Yeah, we don't
I
have
know.
time for this thing on this
Spain, Croatia,
podcast, though.
Italy, Italy. Spain, Croatia, Italy.
I have to reset the predictor now.
Ah,
I don't please don't no
all right.
more
I won't do that. I won't
this
do
thing
that
now.
again. I won't do that again.
Spain, Croatia, Italy, Albania,
Yes.
right?
No, Italy, Albania. Yes. Spain, Croatia, Italy, Albania.
Okay. Group C, Ayo, Slovenia, Denmark, Serbia, and England. The three lions.
Denmark first, England second. Who are the other
Ayo,
two?
are you sure?
England is not top in that group. Forget that one. Those boys are just going. Southgate is Onigbinde, white Onigbinde, please. Denmark, England. Who are the other two countries in that group?
Slovenia.
Slovenia and Serbia.
Oh God, all these Eastern European countries. Well, let me just choose one. Slovenia will come third.
Denmark and Slovenia were
Okay.
actually in the same
Slovenia.
group from qualifiers. I think they finished in the same points with the same points.
So what? What's yours, Steve?
I'll take
You have Slovenia, Denmark, Serbia, and
I'll
England. Please, one time, because I'm going to feel it. I'm going to feel it. I can't
I'll
reset
take
it anymore.
Denmark and Slovenia.
Like first, second,
Yeah, Denmark first, Slovenia second, England third.
and Serbia fourth. All right. Ayo. Group
Yes,
D.
so
The Netherlands, Austria, France, Poland.
Kai. Hey, that Poland is tricky. Oh. Hey. First of all, France. Top one, first of all. Mbappe and them.
Yeah.
That's first
Yeah.
choice.
They're still in the
Netherlands,
same group.
Poland, and who again?
Netherlands, Austria, and Poland.
Hey. I'll give Netherlands second. They don't try.
Of
They don't
course you
try.
will. Of
They
course
don't
you will.
calm
Van
down, calm
Vegas.
down, calm down.
Of course. Virgil van Dijk.
Then Poland third.
Jeremy Frimpong.
Calm down. Poland
Poland
third.
third. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ralph Ragnick's Austria is what you're saying
I
will come fourth.
Poland will be
beg.
last.
About now we make yeah. I've said
Okay,
now.
so
No.
You said you're on
Yeah.
Poland third, Austria
Yeah.
fourth.
Yeah.
Steve, who's first here?
France,
Group D.
Netherlands,
Netherlands, Austria,
Austria,
France.
Poland. France,
Okay,
Netherlands, Austria,
France,
Poland.
Austria, Poland. All right.
I was emotional with that England pick.
Ayo,
Yeah.
Group E. Belgium, Slovakia, Romania, Ukraine.
Oh, Belgium is shit now.
No, they're not. They're not.
Okay. Oh. Can you repeat again? Belgium, Slovakia.
Belgium,
Mm-hmm.
Slovakia, Romania, Ukraine.
Belgium will go first. Will top the group.
Belgium first, okay.
Yeah. Let me just do this for sake of dark horse. Ukraine will come second, even if they are fighting a war.
They decrease. They're not rich.
Ukraine
Okay.
second. They have
Maybe
Zinchenko,
only.
You know me
Steve's
now.
guy. Slovakia, Romania.
Slovakia will third, Romania will be fourth.
Okay. And Steve, what about you? Belgium, Slovakia, Romania, Ukraine.
Slovakia. Okay, Slovakia, not Slovenia. I actually don't have a clue. Slovakia first. Okay, Belgium first. Slovakia second. Ukraine is last. Who's the other team? Romania.
Romania.
Okay. Romania third. No, Romania last. Ukraine third.
Okay. Ayo, Group F, the final group. Turkey,
Yeah.
Georgia, Portugal, Czech Republic.
Georgia is last. Okay, sorry.
Portugal, Czech Republic. Portugal first, Czech Republic second. Can you mention the remaining two, please?
Turkey, and Georgia.
Eh, Turkey and Georgia.
Turkey is always the dark horse. In the last 10 competitions, World Cup and Euros, Turkey has been a dark horse. I'm
I
tired
don't
of
like
that.
Turkey.
Okay, Steve. Turkey, Georgia, Portugal, Czech Republic.
Portugal first. Turkey second. Um, Turkey second. Czech Republic third. Yeah. Then Georgia last. How did Georgia qualify for this tournament?
Georgia.
Caravascelia. They played it.
Oh, they went
They
to the
went to the
playoff.
playoffs,
I know they finished fourth or third or so.
and they have
Yeah.
Caravascelia.
I'm very good.
Kicha Caravascelia. Okay, third place ranking because the group have been expanded to. It's been expanded to third place. Second
Yeah,
round.
that's
So you have
16.
to have
The
16 teams.
Yeah.
So Ayo, you have third place ranking. You have Scotland, Spain, Slovakia, Poland, Slovenia, Poland, Slovakia, and Turkey. Only 4 can make it out of these 6. So who do you think will be the best third place? Scotland, Spain, Slovenia, Poland, Slovakia, Turkey.
Scotland, Spain, Turkey, and can you give me the remaining three options there?
Slovenia, Poland, Slovakia, Turkey.
No, I said Turkey already. I said Spain, Scotland, Turkey. So I just need one more, right? Can you just give me the other options?
Oh, you said Spain, Scotland. You have Slovenia, you have Slovakia, and you have Poland.
Poland.
Okay, Poland.
Yeah.
And then who comes fifth and sixth? Slovakia or Slovenia?
Slovakia, then Slovenia.
Okay, cool. So your round of 16 is almost complete. Steve, your own third place ranking, you have Hungary, Italy, England, Austria, Ukraine, and Czech Republic.
England, Italy,
Please give me 1 to 6.
England, Italy, Czech Republic, and Austria. England, Italy,
So Hungary and
No,
Ukraine.
England, Italy, Czech Republic, and Austria.
So Hungary and Ukraine go in fifth and sixth.
Yeah, no, no, no. Yes, 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 yes.
So England, Italy, Czech Republic, and
Yep.
Austria. All right, Hungary and Ukraine didn't make it. Let's go to the round of 16, guys. I'm excited. Ayo, your round of 16, you have Germany versus England. Who goes?
Two World Wars and one World Cup. England, England, Germany will win. Germany will win, please.
Okay. So Germany wins.
Yeah.
All right.
Mercedes
Hang on a
Benz over
sec.
Rolls Royce.
Harvard will win highest goal
Okay.
scorer in
So
the
Germany
tournament.
wins. Okay. Switzerland versus Italy.
Italy will win.
Italy wins, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Croatia versus Poland.
Eastern European derby. Croatia.
Croatia wins. And Denmark versus Turkey.
Turkey.
This is your Turkey. Turkey wins. Portugal versus Spain.
Portugal. Portugal will win. Definitely.
Okay. Portugal win. Netherlands versus Ukraine.
Netherlands should be easy now. Baba.
Okay. And Belgium versus Scotland.
Belgium. Might go down to penalty shot. Belgium.
Belgium. Bye bye, Scott McTominay. And France versus Czech Republic.
France, 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 France. Mbappe hat trick.
Okay. Let's go to Steve's round of 16. Germany versus Slovenia.
Germany, Slovenia, Germany, no. Yeah.
Germany. Okay, hold on. Okay. Germany. You said Germany. Switzerland versus Croatia.
Switzerland, Croatia. I'll take Croatia.
Spain versus Czech Republic.
Spain.
Denmark versus Austria.
Denmark.
Portugal versus Italy.
Portugal.
Netherlands versus Slovakia.
Netherlands.
Belgium versus England.
England.
And France versus Turkey.
France.
Not a tough match.
All right, let's go to the quarterfinals. Let's go to the quarterfinals. Ayo, your quarterfinals. Um, Germany versus Croatia.
Mm, mm, mm. I'll give Croatia.
You have a lot of love for Croatia.
Oh.
Uh, um, Portugal versus Netherlands.
Hey, that's an European classic. Jesus is Lord. Hey, the last time those two met, so like 7 red cards. I'll tip Portugal
You tip Portugal to win.
over Netherlands. Yeah.
Why? Tell me why. I want to know why.
Steve, which kind of problem with this? Everybody don't they talk their results. Now when reach Netherlands now, you don't
I
the.
need to know.
I feel Portugal just have more experience like in European games. Having won Euros, having won what's the other thingy they won that time, sir? Yeah, I just feel they have more experience at
Or
this
the
level.
Nations League. Yeah, they did well in the Nations League as well. And I guess that's when they even met last. It wasn't even in the World Cup in 2006, right, Steve? It was the Nations
Yeah.
League that they met
Yes.
last. It was yeah, Nations League final that Portugal won.
Yeah, 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 that's true. Yeah.
Okay, so fair enough, Ayo. So Portugal wins Netherlands, right? Fair enough.
Yeah,
All right. The third quarterfinal is between Belgium and France.
Français, Français,
France.
allez blue.
Okay. Okay. Allez le bleu. Allez le bleu. Okay, and the fourth one is between Turkey and Italy.
Italy, classic 1-0. Sit down the back, wuru wuru go.
All right.
Bloody
Let's go
bastards.
to let's go to Steve's quarterfinals. Steve, your quarterfinal is between the first one is between Germany
Germany.
and Spain. Okay, Germany. All right. So Steve, match 46 quarterfinals. It is Portugal versus Netherlands. Who do you go with?
I choose Netherlands.
Okay, Netherlands, Oranje. Then the next quarterfinals is England versus France.
Of course, France. Just like what happened at the World Cup. But the gap at the
Yeah,
World Cup
but
was even closer. Now France is way way ahead.
and then the last one is Denmark versus Croatia.
I'll go Croatia.
Okay, solid. Ayo, let's get back to your semifinals,
Yuzu?
right? And the first semifinal is between Croatia and Portugal. Who do you go with?
Portugal, Portugal.
Okay, and the next one is between France and Italy.
I think France will be able to do it. I think France will be able to edge them. They will have the magic factor. France.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Steve, your first semifinal is between Germany and Netherlands.
Germany.
Okay, and then you have France versus Croatia.
France.
Okay, let's go into the final real quick. Ayo, your final is between Portugal and France.
Yes, sir. Only one person now. Le Blue. Le Blue.
So, so France wins it France wins the Euro 2026, 2024
Yes.
rather.
2024,
All
yeah.
right,
Definitely.
superb. Steve, your final is between Germany and France.
France.
Okay, France also wins it for Steve. Wow, you guys ended up at the same winner. Very interesting. France for both of you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I have a surprise for both of you if France does win it. In
All
fact,
right.
let me do it like this. Your own final is between Portugal and France. If the finals ends up with Portugal and France, you take my surprise. Steve,
Okay.
your final is between Germany and France. So if it gets to your own final, you also win a surprise.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
this has
Alrighty.
nothing to do with who actually wins. It is more on who plays the final.
All right.
Okay.
May I go do
All right.
this fast now?
Well, for who? For
For both
Portugal
of
and
them to
France.
reach you. For them to reach you right now.
All right, man. Let's get into it. Let's go. Do we have this week? Peter
Well,
Obi and the Obedient Movement.
yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, who wants to give us some
Um,
backstory?
I can. So I think um the Labour Party wanted to do a sort of directorate, right, of like the obedience in that sense, right? They
What do you
wanted
mean
to
by
have
directorate?
a database of like the obedient movement, right? And in that sense, when you have the data of these people, that means you own them in a way, like you own access to them. And Peter Obi came out to say, listen, I'm a member of your party, but my supporters, the people in my movement, are not a member of your party. I
Mm,
guess, yeah, he came out to make a statement to say that that the obedient movement is not of any particular political party, right? That any individual that who's claiming to be a leader of the so-called coalition of data are not member of his obedient movement, right?
mm-hmm,
So he just came out to state it, and they were like, he brought up like rumors and reports that he was about to dump the party again, and he came up the next day to say no, he didn't. He's not leaving the party, but he's just trying to say that my movement is separate from my own party, and the the reason for it, from my own understanding, is that that's the only card that he has to play. So he's owning it. He's not giving it to anybody, so that he can consistently have the upper hand in any negotiation. Because if the Labour Party, for example, succeeds in getting the database of like the obedient movements and have the data and access to them, they can be able to tell Peter Obi, oh fuck what, we'll use this data and access to these people to to mobilize for our own candidate next time, or any other party that Peter Obi goes to. So I think he's just owning his movement and holding it to himself, to own the to have like the bargaining power, the bargaining chips, in any negotiation that he goes to with any political movement, either PDP or the Labour Party that he is right now. Yeah.
yeah. Do you think we're seeing signs of him eventually decamping? Do you think the LP, the Labour Party, also made this move? Because everything is happening at the same time. Everything is happening around the time Peter Obi met up with Atiku Abubakar,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, 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 yeah,
It's all
yeah.
happening at the same time. That visit happened, I think, about what, less than 2 weeks ago. Then
Yes.
this whole opening a directorate and sort of like infusing and owning the obedient
The
movement,
obedient
or
part
formally attaching them and associating them
to the
with the
party.
Labour Party movement is happening. So do you think Peter Obi is looking at decamping and leaving the Labour Party? And do you think this is a reaction of that?
First
A
of all,
reaction to that?
I think the directorate idea is Labour Party's response to him meeting Article, right? Labour Party is like, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? Let's get some of his movement, some of his supporters. Let's get them, get the data, get whatever, and anything that will help us like mobilize them for anything that we're doing in the future. I think it's a response to that. Why Peter Obi has also responded by saying, no, my guys, don't do it. I'm not part of it. I don't co-sign it and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Mm.
it's a possibility that Peter Obi would leave the Labour Party. I think a lot of us in the energetic euphoria of the last election, we actually overrated what the Labour Party stands for. I think the Labour Party is just a logo, which most parties are in Nigeria at the end of the day. And there are suggestions or there are arguments that if Peter Obi was on a bigger political party or platform like the PDP, he would have easily won. So I think he's shopping for options right now. Definitely running again in 2027. And this is a move from the Labour Party to sort of like checkmate him that if you take your obedience away from you, then we don't really need you at the end of the day. But it was smart on Peter B's part to come out with that statement and say, look, oh, the obedient movement is mine, and wherever I go, they will go. So he's now, I think he's like a free agent. Technically, I've always said it that after the last elections, Peter B is a free agent, and if you can sign his contract, if you can pay for his this thing, it's definitely going to be up there with you. But I think he might be going back to the PDP. I don't know. There's still an article question over it because we know the article is like that jam students that always rise jam every year. And at one point, they just give you the form. They don't even ask you for money anymore. So the article question is still there. Will article run for 2027? If PDP is not giving article the ticket in 2027, their best bet is Peter Obi. Simple and short. They should forget about rotation and power rotation. Give the man who has the ability to win this thing and just put all the resources behind it.
Okay, so let me ask another question. If, and this is if, Peter Obi decomes from the Labour Party and goes back to the People Democratic Party, do you think he will become do you think he would run for president or he would run for vice president on the bill? Do you think Atiku is still involved in this? Do you think Atiku is
Atiku,
still going to run for president and Obi will be his running mate for the vice position? Or
Atiku will
do
always
you
run. Atiku will always run because all we are seeing Atiku doing right now is just hammering the government, hammering the government, hammering the government. He's not doing because maybe he likes Nigeria, but he's also doing that for he wants to stay politically relevant. He wants to show Nigerians that he's the better option for 2027. I don't think it would be stupid for Obi to enter the PDP and say he's running as VP. It doesn't make sense. You
Yeah.
are in the history of Nigeria, in terms of elections, no third candidate, no third party candidate has gathered more votes and more political momentum than you ever in in the history of this country. So why would you want to be a figurehead at the end of the day to somebody who might lose, who has never even won an election before, a presidential
Yep.
election? So what's the point? If PDP want to save the future of that party, if they will really want to be relevant and don't end up like Lagos PDP, like the Lagos chapter of PDP, they have to give it to Peter Obi. They have to give it to Peter Obi.
as a Nollywood actor, as a running, as a God,
Yes, sir.
those guys are so PDP Lagos is so unserious,
PDP in Lagos
so
is dead,
unserious.
dead and buried. So if
They actually
PDP
went
doesn't
to
want
pick,
that to happen to them,
yeah,
continue.
they actually went to pick Jennifer to run as the deputy governor.
And people actually thought, and some people were saying that she has still a chance. I'm like, bro, you people you don't even know what's going on. So PDP
Anyways,
now,
okay, so I get your point.
2027, yeah,
So you're saying if Obi
2027 is do or
goes, he
die.
has to run. He has to
He
run.
has to run. He has to run.
He has to run. See, if Obi goes back and he is chosen as he wins the party ticket to run for president, it will just be a
Yeah.
shame. That's how I will see it. It will be a shame
Yeah.
because in the last cycle, you guys should have just made it work and not, we wouldn't have had this guy in there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
It's just a waste of time and ego. And that would be an article. Because all you could have done was say at the height of it, what you guys should have just done was merge all the parties together.
Yeah.
Merge everything together. Is that not what they
And that,
did to combat PDP? Is that not what the
and
AC
that
and
is
CPC did?
see, and
CPC
that is
ran,
why
Buhari ran 3 times in a
I
row,
lost.
lost all
Yeah.
three. Then party, they merged the parties with AD, and boom, they had the biggest party.
And it's
And
almost
this
the
So
is
same
why
thing as
sorry, I have to say this. And this is why you can never underestimate Tinubu. People look at Tinubu as stupid. No. There's a reason why that man has been very successful. The man ran for presidency once and he won. My guy. It is not beans. He waited his time. He merged everybody together. It is clear that the
play the long
PDP,
game.
Atiku has captured the PDP and they can't think. As much as I have my reservations for Wike is one of the people that are shouting that this thing will not make sense. This is not going to make sense at the end of the day. And Wike, being a very true Nigerian, preached his tent with the winning party, obviously. And that's why Tinubu,
Deliver
every
the
time,
state.
yeah, that's why Tinubu always praises him in public every time. That he's the best performing minister and everything. At the end of the day, if PDP want to survive beyond 2027, they should not give that ticket to Atiku.
Mm, I understand. I think it would be stupid for Obi and maybe very, very desperate for Obi to accept to be a running mate to Atiku in the next election. I want also to add about Osagie is going off Osagie's Buhari point is I think Peter Obi is in that a Buhari stage where because Buhari came with a lot of numbers to APC when the merger happened. Do you get?
Yeah, yeah,
He came with a lot of numbers. He had like ridiculous amount of. In 2011, he had like in 2011 or so, he had like 2010 or so, he had like a huge number of votes as a presidential candidate. So I think that's the stage Obi is now. Although the Obi was able to do it with just one election cycle. So I think, and one thing about Obi is the popularity has also is still on the rise even after the last election. No
Yeah.
thanks to the state of the country right now. So I think
yeah.
Peter Obi,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah, I think Peter Obi has a lot of cards to play. He has like a lot of like the position he is now right now. He has every bargaining chip, in any negotiation table that he goes to. So I don't think he has to be a running mate to anybody. Um, going for
What
going to the
what Obi
next election.
needs? What Obi needs? He needs a strong northerner that he can ally with, who has massive votes,
Yeah.
who have
Hey,
massive
what
votes.
about the most popular guy who
Who
runs? I mean, this is his third time running or so. Kwankwaso.
Concourse,
Kwankwaso
yeah.
should have done that, but also it was ego. That how
Because
can
ego
he?
too. Yeah.
Yes, now and you not saw the result at the end of the day. He was not even. He wasn't in top three. He wasn't in top three now.
Oh, so you're saying the
No, it wasn't.
NNPP, the PDP, and the LP should all join forces to make one new party?
Yes,
Yep.
and go straightly for APC.
That's it.
Tit for tat, do or die.
APC is just too APC is too big now for any of the parties to get them. Even PDP.
Yes,
Like Buhari, like I said, Buhari, Tinubu is gradually, I think that's one of his main goal now to just decimate that party called the PDP, like he has done in Lagos
he,
State, as you
he did
mentioned
it in
before.
Lagos. He did it nationally
He did
now.
it in Lagos. He can do it nationally easily. Like there's not easily to be easy. It's just cake for him. So I think the best thing for that party right now is to do measures. But the problem is, I don't think they have. I don't think PDP being the strongest opposition, or let me say the most popular opposition, I don't think they have that figurehead that is methodical, that plays the long game and shares his ego just to make sure that the party is winning, which
Yeah,
Tinubu did. Remember, they of Buhari told Tinubu, be my running mate, and he said, nah, no, 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 no. I can't be Muslim ticket will not fly, right? And when it was his
Muslim,
turn, what did he do?
Muslim all the way.
Muslim ticket.
It's true, Steve. It's
So
true what you said
he,
about PDP, though. If you look at the two most vocal people in PDP, they're not liked by the masses. Wike and Atiku. There is no thinker in that place. There's no bad
yeah,
man in that place that says, okay, 2027, this is the blueprint and let's win. Both of them are just doing glass boost, glass boost, glass boost. That's all. And the PDP is sinking by the day. They're living on past glory as it is.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I get it. Um, let's see how it goes. 2027 will not be easy, though. Even if that happens, it will not be easy because the incumbents, if you think you saw anything in the last election cycle with how the incumbent moved, you're not ready for
bro,
Osagie,
you're not
you're
ready
not
for what
ready.
to expect in
You're not
2027.
ready.
No. It is
Yeah,
it's
going
like
to be incredible.
yeah,
Rules,
bro.
records will be broken.
yeah.
Landslide victory this time around. Hey,
Records will
no
be
joking.
broken, and when I mean record, I'm even saying to build up to the election itself, right?
That'd
The
be
things that
phenomenal.
are going to go, underground, the things that are going to go in place, the rules that will be set in place, the new laws that
Yeah.
will quickly be enacted. Maybe you thought they were changing currency notes, right? You think currency note was which was a big problem. People died,
Yes,
right?
bro.
A
Yeah,
man
Like,
lost his
people died.
wife in the labor room because he could not
Yeah,
pay for a pregnancy. Yeah, he could not pay for the
yeah.
the stuff. Yeah, It's
So
crazy.
you think that it was a big deal? We are not ready to know what is going to happen in 2027. It's
Osagie,
going to
Yeah.
be a big
look
deal.
at picture Tinubu
Oh,
before him becoming.
bro, our mouths will just be open like it's like what? This is happening in real
Yeah.
time and will be documented.
Yes.
What is going
You
to
know what?
happen? You
Picture Tinubu before he became president, how powerful he was. Now you've opened the vault to him. He owns every instrument of the state. He's the commander in chief, 001.
That's
And you
yeah.
think that he doesn't see you people coming. He has seen you people coming 4 years. See, every move that PDP is making, he has seen that move 3 years ahead, 4 years ahead. And he has started playing, he's playing 3D chess, where people are still playing, it's not even checkers, it's Ludo. People are still playing Ludo. Baba don't see everything they come.
are playing
Where?
Ayo.
They're playing
I'm
IO.
telling you.
Baba is seeing 3D chess. Well, come
I'm telling you
on,
guys, this man used the national anthem team to just test the water. How much influence do
bro.
I have? How much power do I have? The
How,
next one
how,
is
how
going to
can I
shock you
push?
guys.
Yeah,
Just
we
watch.
are going to do regional. Don't worry.
Just
Regional. We
watch.
are entering regional states, regional
The
government back.
University of
Show me.
Lagos, students in the University of Lagos showed more pushback when they changed when
When they change
it
the
was
name of their
proposed
university. Yep.
when it
Yeah.
was proposed that they would change the name of their university, they showed more
Uh,
pushback than an entire nation showed
Yes.
towards changing the national
Change
anthem.
the national anthem.
but
Yep.
remember, the nation then was not had not yet been defeated by inflation and subsidy. We thought Nigeria was bad then, but now, bro, you know when you protest and they flog you, they not done something again. You like, no, we know they come out again. The trauma that I beg, anything they want to do, they do. I beg.
So you're saying that what you're saying now is that there's no like you don't have energy to you have to pick your battles
And
since you're
again,
dealing with inflation and
I,
all the every
yeah,
other thing.
And it's
also,
also that it's also the fear factor where you know that the person, the president or the people in power are not too they're not too desperate to do something to harm us when we protest, right? Look at everything that happened with Goodluck Jonathan, even the subsidy protest, nothing happened, right? The first major protest after subsidy, which was under the first major protest under APC, what happened? They killed people. Like soldiers literally went somewhere and opened fire on young people because they were protesting, right? So that fear factor is there. It's just like you have a military leader and everybody's scared, right? Then this man just went. The Senate just used one day to pass like two phases of their reading to approve the national anthem, and it was signed into law. So there's this stick. There's this how do I put
Sorry,
it?
upper and lower house. So
Upper and lower house.
that's
So instantly, oh.
upper,
So there's this
upper lower.
he
position
passed
that
he
with
passed three readings on the same day.
thinking. There's this
The
positioning that we
fastest
don't
they've
care, we
ever
don't give
done.
a fuck about you. Yeah, we don't give a fuck about you, right? So that puts fear into the people also. That's it. This goes into the concept of stage capturing, right? You use fear. The fear tactics is there. The
Yeah.
messages that you put out. This man did not do a debate. He was invited to a debate. He did not go for before the election. Yes, this man was not. How many
Is it
interviews did Tinubu do before the
is
election? This
it
man was not even
Only,
addressing Nigerians. As
only
president, how
did
many
one
times has he
video.
addressed you?
they went to the Chatham House and people were
Yeah,
answering questions on his
questions for
behalf.
him. Yeah, they said
And
he
people
knows
were
how to
saying,
delegate.
They
yes,
said
he knows how to
delegation.
delegate. He has a team of
Yeah,
technocrats. The interesting
yeah.
one is that it's his brain we need.
Yeah, not the tech.
It's his
Bruh,
brain we need.
bruh.
See, you gaslighting people, you gaslighters that come and give this flimsy excuse, and you can see all of them all over the place.
Yeah.
I don't want to call names. They're everywhere. Most of them are in the diaspora, by the way,
Most of them.
Of
Most of
course,
them.
now.
enjoying the benefits of the country that they live in, but then
Yeah.
saying all sorts and just
Yeah.
gaslighting people.
To
Must
further
you
enslave
people eat too much?
Nigerians.
It's
Eh,
that's the go-to. Yeah, why will you go? You switch on your freezer, you go out, you won't switch it off. You come back, your freezer is still on.
I saw,
How can a minister be saying that? The
you
other
know
day
that
I saw the
minister.
other one. What was the other one saying on? Was it not channels or which TV station too? That one too was saying, "Oh my God, I can't remember." He was gaslighting people.
That's what they do. It's their job.
I,
When you can't deliver, you start blaming the victim. Oh, there'll be light
Nigeria, yeah.
if you manage your light. I saw the minister telling
The other
somebody,
one saying that one there's so much wedding. Nigerians will say they are poor, but you see every Saturday you see
Every Saturday,
wedding.
they all one bear. Jesus
There's no one
Christ.
there spending money, and they say they
"Oh
are poor. Are
my
they really poor?
God,
That's that's how you start talking when you just want to gaslight people. And we see them.
Yeah,
They'll go
it's
and write
feeling
on Medium. They'll write on Medium. They'll go
yeah,
and gaslight on Medium. Do you understand?
yup,
yeah,
It's just different forms of gaslighting. Then you
yeah,
start to ask yourself, am I crazy? Or maybe these guys are actually telling the truth.
yeah.
yeah."
But see, the power of social media,
You begin
right?
to question your sanity.
The power of social media is that people are constantly pushing back at these people.
And
Constantly
that's why they
pushing
are,
back.
and that's where the hatred for Peter Obi comes from. That
Yes,
he was able to galvanize people to challenge them. Because these were these same people, this set of people who gaslight us now, were the most vile people on
Yep.
Twitter when they were attacking
Yep.
Goodluck Jonathan.
yes,
All of
Bro,
them, like, there's nothing
we
that
saw
didn't have done
pictures, we
today.
saw caricatures, we saw
Yes,
pictures. They
we saw
everything.
skits.
demonized.
They demonized this man, like
Yeah,
finished him, right?
they laughed. They
Then
laughed at him.
because you are getting
There's
the
nothing they
energy,
didn't do.
someone, thank you, because someone galvanized people enough to give you the same energy. That's where the hate for Peter Obi comes from. 100%. I know, I see it. Sometimes it's tribalism, but most times it's also because of, oh, this point they are on tweet on social media, because they don't also have that influence that they had over people politically, right? And a voice. Now people just push. That's why they hate our obedient movement. There is envy sometimes. Like, this thing, we used to own it. Now we no longer own
It's been
the space.
democratized, and the younger people who are
Exactly.
coming are not going
Thank
under
you.
their fold.
Thank
They are
you.
going somewhere else, and they are,
Now go somewhere else.
you know,
Thank you.
they've
You
created,
know.
they have their own, they have a voice of their own, and
Yeah,
now they
yeah.
can, say what they
And
truly
if you
mean,
see,
and they have,
if you look,
they're even more, you know, smart and technical with
thank
how they
you.
use social media
Thank
and
you.
use the, phones to
And if
capture
you look at
moments and
some
all
of
of
their
that.
responses, if you look at most of their responses, it's just, you know that, oh, everything that concerns them is just online debate. How do I own this online space? And that's why they come any moment. Omochua knows how to do this thing. He will just relate something to, I forgot who finished second one time and congratulated his person. I said, "Oh, this is how you accept being a loser." Unlike a person who has not, a person and his movement who has not accepted that they lost the election. Like, it's for them. It's all about. It's for them. It's not even about the country. It's not about what the country needs. It's about winning online debates. That's why when I look at those debates and the comments they make on Twitter, I just look at it that these people are just joking, right? Because Nigerians as it is right now, millions of Nigerians are suffering daily as a result of ineffective leadership. And all you have to care about is winning online debates, winning debates on Twitter, or trolling. You just wake up and just start trolling the obedient movements, or the obedient movements will start trolling the other part. Bro, this thing you people are doing on Twitter is that, like, it's that far more things, like dire consequences, like, happening in real life that we should be talking about, not this online trolling that you people have taken this political thing to. Like, it doesn't make sense to me when I see the conversations online and everybody's trying to gain points over one another and trying to win an argument or be in a better place. It doesn't make sense to me. You know?
Yeah. So please, any of the gaslighters FC listening, please try and change your ways. I know you are being paid for it, so but think about it. For the ones that are gaslighting and have not been paid, like Steve will always tweet every 5 business working days on Twitter. Now, I get problem pass. Oh.
Oh my God. Hmm.
You have not been paid, and then you are going down these routes. The ones that we are talking about, they've been paid. They are just, mercenaries. They really don't care about anything. It's not like they genuinely care about who's. They don't. They've just been paid,
They don't too.
and then they're just carrying out the script that they've been handed. But you were not hired as a mercenary, right? You are doing it maybe for optics, or doing it maybe you yourself can get on the list. But most times you're
Yeah.
just doing it and not being paid, and you are still part of the problem that is going on. You are still experiencing the issues going on. After you tweet and you make all those tweets and everything, you still go and queue for fuel. You still go to the supermarket to buy goods, right? All of these things that we are complaining about and experiencing, you are also experiencing them, but you have chose to go the contrary route because you feel like you should be associated with a group of people who do not necessarily care about you. My brother, my sister, try think am and change your ways.
Change your
Anyways,
ways.
is that a song?
No, it's just like something NTA will cook up back in the military
Okay, it's
regime.
just an ad lib. All
Yeah.
right, let's break down the. Well, we have to go to our cryptocurrency and blockchain expert and correspondent here. If you can,
What
once
happened
again,
again?
the US has finally waded into the Nigeria Binance issue. So, our
Oh,
blockchain correspondent, please, can you enlighten us on what's going on?
Can you break the block
um,
for
blockchain correspondence is mad. A group wrote a letter to the Senate, to the Secretary of State, about the guy who was being held on false charges, related to money laundering and tax evasion in Nigeria, right? And they stated that he is completely innocent of these charges and does not hold a role that makes him appropriate standing for the company. That's for Binance. So they call the arrest and prosecution unjust and inhumane. And I think they said the Secretary of State, I can't confirm it, is preparing a letter to the federal government, right, to ask them about the status and the update about this guy's, issue, and look for a way to resolve it. We've been waiting to see what will happen, because as American citizen, you can't just expect, this case that's high profile for America to ignore it, right? And we knew something was going to happen, like something like this was going to happen, and we'll go to it just the update now that something like this has started. The move has started, so we'll see how the federal government responds to this. If they just kill the case, or just be stubborn and tell America fuck you, which we know can't happen. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Abego?
yeah.
I think, first of all, the other guy that ran that was escaped. Let me put that in air quotes. Escaped.
Absconded.
Yeah, I heard
I
he
think
was
this
captured again
was
in.
captured in Kenya now. Yeah,
Yeah,
He was in Kenya. So has he been brought back to Nigeria? Is he still in Kenya?
he's still in
I
Kenya. He
think
has not yet been
it's still in
extradited.
Kenya. Also, to point that after that letter was written to the Secretary of State, lawmakers also started talking about it in the House. Urging President, they started, making statement to urge President Biden, to intervene in the matter. But we've not seen any move officially from the American government, but we expect something like that to happen very soon. Yeah,
So when does the trial start? The trial has started, right?
the
Are they
trial has
going to
started
send him?
now.
Yeah, the guy
Okay.
fainted once. They say I think he had malaria, so he fainted in court.
Oh man, wow. I don't even know what to say. I think the
Same
bigger
here.
problem here is when you read news like this as an investor, you know,
Yeah, you
you
have to
get
be.
scared.
Yeah, you have to be scared.
And it's two
100%.
ways, right? The
Yeah.
first is, oh, there are uh, companies who want to come into Nigeria to set up. But you read things like this, you do your SWOT analysis, you do your pestle analysis, and you're just scared. You're scared because when it comes to policies, things can change in a second, right? And once they change in a second, you might just be on the other side of the law. You don't even
Yeah.
have a heads up to re strategize. You don't have a heads up to pivot. You don't have a heads up to restructure. That's the first thing. The second problem is, as a founder in Nigeria, you've created a company that solves a problem for a market, and then you are looking for investors, right? You have a solid
Hmm.
product, you have a solid team, and then you are looking for investors. And investors are scared because, again, they've done the analysis and they're like, while your product is good and we see that you have a market for it, we're afraid of the policies that can just change in a second, and then we're on the wrong side of it, or you have to close shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Example of this is what happened with Oride, the two-wheel, three-wheel, and four-wheel service business. Mostly the two-wheel and three-wheel businesses under OP. What happened? They gave a week or max 10 days notice to a company that has 6,000 bikes in the city to close shop. Like, what do you expect? What do you think happened? Let me explain. I worked there. What happened is people lost jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did they lose jobs? Because the output of what happened in Lagos affected the other cities to the point
Hmm.
where it didn't look or it wasn't justifiable to run the business anymore.
Anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine the number of people. We're talking people in telesales, we're talking people in, support, we're talking people, working with the bike riders, we're talking rider management, we're talking trainers, so many people. Close to, I'm talking in hundreds or even the thousands of people had to lose their jobs because what? Because there was a 10-day notice on a policy that just changed. And right now we see those bikes everywhere,
Raw.
you know. So you start to look at things like that and you're worried. The law was that 200cc bikes can do whatever they need to
No,
do.
the one.
Then all
Yeah,
of a
that was the
sudden,
law.
you just change it and say, hey, man, in these main axis, we don't want these 200cc bikes there. What do you think is going to happen? Do you know how many families were affected? Do you know how many people had left the other business and started up this business and they were months in? Do you know how many people who are taking loans? So many things that you look at. And so when you read stories like this with the whole Binance issue, you wonder why we don't have any or we don't have enough FDI in the country. Anyways, I don't want to drag it too much. All right, on to the next story. The House of Assembly wants to criminalize shutting down the national grid during protests.
Yeah.
First of all, before we get into like the criminalizing and everything, right? What happened in the recent Nigerian Labour Congress protests was they reportedly went and shut down the national grid, and then the whole of Nigeria did not have access to power supply. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the funny thing is
I
that. Sorry, I just wanted to add this as an explainer. Okay, continue.
I okay. If it's an explainer, please go ahead.
Okay, so it is easier to shut down the national grid than put it back on. So once you shut down the national grid, the light goes off everywhere. But once you switch it back on, it's not like a rolling phase. It's not as if everywhere will not have electricity again. Some of us do not have electricity for the next 36 hours or so. So that's what I wanted to just add.
Okay, cool. Thanks. I'm not in support of shutting down the national grid just because you want to protest.
Yeah.
Same here.
I don't know where you
Same here.
guys fall on.
I'm not in support
Okay,
of it,
good.
but in the context
I'm
of
not in support of
Nigeria,
it.
it's not a big deal because
Yeah, I get what you
national grid collapses anyway. Even when it doesn't collapse,
Yeah,
we have electricity problem in Nigeria anyway. Like, is electricity is not a matter of life and death for Nigerians, right? Like, we can make do without it. Like, you're not talking about a country that has a record or a history of constant electricity. Like, right? Like, come on now.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah,
I
like
get you.
it's not a matter of life and death for us. Like, we know how, like, we have a system, we have a mechanism as Nigerians to cope without having electricity from the government. Yeah. I don't agree, like I said, I don't agree with it, but in context of Nigeria, it's not a life and death thing. As we speak now, there I don't have any data to prove it, but more than even half of Nigerians don't have electricity right now. So what are we talking
I
about?
don't.
Exactly. So even when the national grid is on, you have light. Does it apply to all Nigerians?
No.
That's the question.
no.
That's the important question we have to ask ourselves. So why is it that when people are striking or protesting and it goes off, that's only the time we complain? We're not complaining why it's why we're not we don't complain, or we don't have that same level. This Senate has never discussed. When it was the last time the Senate discussed the problematic power situation in the country?
When the national grid
Thank you.
collapses.
Exactly. When was the last time they? So you could see that ultimately This is a political conversation. It is.
Yes, it
There's
is.
no bias about. There's no two way to talk about it. To even think about it. Look at the conversation on Twitter. The people who are in support of the strike and the national grid situation of national grid was the opposition, like anybody who's opposing the government. The people who didn't agree were the people who were supporting the government. All of a sudden, what's the
Yeah.
name of that guy? All of a sudden, that guy was caring about the people who were in incubators. Are you serious?
But guess what, Steve? Guess what? Doctors and nurses strike regularly in this country, and nobody gives a fuck about it.
Thank you.
All of a sudden now, you not care about what is happening in hospitals and
Yeah.
people in ICU.
So I don't
Come on
agree
now.
with it. I don't agree with it considering how important light and energy and electricity is to us, right? But it's the whole thing, the whole conversation has spiraled into a political one. So there's so much bias and hypocritical sentiment to it. So it doesn't make sense to me anymore. The national grid has collapsed this year more than 10 times, right? Ayo. Like if you count the
I don't know about
the
but it has
announcement,
been a lot.
it has been a lot. I don't know. I don't have the specific number, but it has been a lot. Has it been a
And I
conversation?
also have a feeling that sometimes when it collapses, they don't tell us. So we just think that
Thank
there's no
you.
light regularly.
There's someone.
Sometimes they also
I think there's an aide of the president who tweeted something about, he just got a report of a hospital in Osun State, blah 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 blah, where babies are suffering with incubators, blah blah. How many times has he tweeted that when the national grid collapsed?
Yes.
It's like, come on now.
Let's not be fucking around.
Let's not fuck around. Let's not,
gang.
like, we all know, like, it's a political. This whole thing is a political thing. Like the Senate. That's the part of state capturing too. Like look at the way they passed the old national anthem bill. Like the whole Senate, they are under the whims of the president. So, why won't they come out and discuss it? The Senate has expressed worry over the implication of the shutdown of national grid and destruction of Hajj flights, among other action taken by the organized labor during the nationwide strike for a minimum wage.
But Steve, guess what? When a plane runs off the skidway or nearly crashes in Nigeria, the Senate doesn't care about aviation in the country.
No.
They just move on. They don't care.
Last week, people were stuck in Abuja for 2 days because an airline constantly changed their takeoff time, leaving people stranded. Right? Where is the consumer rights and protection people and whatever association of Nigeria? When are they expressing worries? All of a sudden, Hajj flights are so important that they didn't go during the strike. It's now something that you are going to the plenary session to discuss. Do you know how many Nigerians suffer that every week? Do you understand?
Millions of Nigerians sleep in heat every night. And your senator,
you're telling me that if House of did not take off, flights did not take off, that's what you are expressing worry over. Do you know how many times it happens in a week in all airports in Nigeria?
But it's hard.
I'm sorry. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to answer this question. Is there a reset button? Can we put Nigeria in rice?
Come on, that is the thing is that where in time do you even reset? Where in time?
Where do we reset to? We reset to before first tax 77.
Osagie, the problem was even before first tax 77.
I know where
the 60s were fucked up.
I know where to reset.
60s had two coups and one civil war.
You're resetting to before 1914. Where are you resetting to?
That two places, 2 times. That 19 something and 1960, so that the British can colonize us to like 1990.
Steve,
By that time, I think they would have like 2 train stations in 2 train running across Lagos right now, and it will only be maintenance that will be worried about. There will be trains running across the eastern states. Like 2-3 states, things like that across the country would have made it easier for us.
At least Nigeria infrastructure-wise for don't develop.
Thank you.
We for don't like essay.
Thank you. Just
so you are saying if we were not granted independence at that time and we had done another 30 years, we would have skipped so many things that happened.
Yes.
And there would have been an advancement in a number of fields.
Yes. I agree.
Okay, but you can say that. You can say that, but you can also say, look at what happened in South Africa.
What's happened in South Africa?
What happened in South Africa? We didn't have that same problem with South Africans. We didn't have the apartheid thing because the people didn't come here to settle. They were only just colonizers. So there's different countries.
But that's the thing. once you
But
continue
also,
to once you continue to once you are not granted independence at that time, what do you think will happen? Settlers will come now.
No, 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 no. It's also, it takes, it doesn't, I think South Africa, or even colony or whatever, there were Dutch settlers in South Africa, like for a long, long time. And that's where the whole thing started.
And because
And that's
yeah, because they were Dutch settlers because they captured the
the
country now.
country.
So
Yeah,
yeah, and then
that's true. That's
that
true.
led to what it is. So
It's
who
also,
not
says that
explained the
couldn't have
same.
led to a lot of who says that wouldn't have led to a lot of disparity in wealth,
Yes.
in even just like how they live and all that. And we see it happen in SA a lot of times now. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've seen those high drone
Yeah.
photos of like well developed areas occupied
And
by
the other,
a
and the
certain
trenches. Yeah.
yeah,
and
and
one,
all of that. So
That's
you
a
have to
legit
factor that
concern.
in as well.
Yeah. That's a legit
Yeah.
concern. Yeah.
also there's a
So I mean,
difference. So
and in SA, you have everywhere is developed. Like almost everywhere is developed. You have the trains, you have everything, right? All of that. But the people living
Which one
in
do you
there,
think the on the economic level, the wealthy, the middle class, and the poor, right? Right? And
yeah.
the poor are like are more in number in Nigeria, right? Which one do you think the poor will
hmm
prefer? Which one do you think the poor will prefer?
Because on that same, Abi,
Yeah, exactly.
see,
Which one do you think?
McPherson come back.
Oppression from Nigerian leaders or
McPherson come
oppression
back.
for white men? Because you know that when
Say
white men
McPherson.
are oppressing you, you have lights. Do you
yeah,
get? You have lights.
yes,
So like
yes.
those are the.
Steve,
I don't
Steve
know.
and Osagie, I put it to you. I put it to you. If the British come back and colonize us, we'll have constant power
yeah.
supply in less than a decade.
What?
Less than a decade.
Yep.
If it's Chinese, 5 years. If it's Chinese, 5 years, everybody go get light. There's something fundamentally wrong with black people in Africa, especially our leaders. There's something fundamentally wrong with all of them. Because even in South Africa now, once they gave power to black people, what happened? They too started doing power rationing. They started doing power rationing. Zimbabwe too is like that. What? No,
They call it
Ghana too.
they call it
Ghana
they call it
too.
load shedding. They call it
Load
load
shedding.
shedding.
Load shedding.
In Ghana, it's called domso. Domso. They'll take life for like 12 hours.
Dumb saw. My friend was
Dumb
telling me
saw.
about dumb saw.
Bro, there's something fundamentally wrong with African leaders and African people. Something
Right.
fundamentally wrong.
I felt Steve's point because if you grew up in Gombe, right, where
You
you
don't
have
understand.
access to nothing,
Nothing.
as a middle class or lower class kid, right,
Yeah.
you have
You
access to
want white,
nothing basically.
you want the white people to
At
come
least
back.
they'll still be going to farm. They can't farm anymore because of because of terrorists. They can't. In
You can't
fact,
even farm.
Tunde tweeted it tweeted something and said, you know what? Like in over 10 years, there's some section of the not in northern states, they've not been able to go to farm because of terrorist activities, right? There's now a generational gap in knowledge of farming, right? There's a new
Yes.
generation coming up that don't know how to farm. And this thing will
Yep.
contribute to massive inflation of food prices in the coming years.
Yeah.
Way more than what we're experiencing now, right? Like people have not farmed in 15 years, in 10 years because of terrorists.
So a kid
Come
that was
on.
like 5
Thank you.
would probably
Who probably
follow
15
his
right
dad
now.
and
Thank
let's say
you.
10. Let's say a
Yes,
kid
let's say
from 10
10.
years who will follow his dad and everything. He's 20
He's
now.
20 now.
And throughout those 10 years, he's not been able to farm.
Yeah.
But the kid that is 20 that farmed, for the first 5 years
Yes.
and is trying to develop. So in the last 10 years now, the kid is now 30
His life
but
is in
doesn't have the
shock.
requisite skills
Thank
to farm.
you.
Nothing to do.
So let's
And
look
that's
at
why I
it
say
now.
all the time, when we want to set up all these things, we can't upskill ourselves. This
No.
upskilling, tech something, we can't tech upskill ourselves out of poverty.
No.
Yeah,
That's
we
not-
can't. That is the
you
first cocoa.
understand what I'm saying? You can't. You can't.
I'm looking for that.
Omo.
source.
We have the land mass. We have
Everything.
The
we have.
population,
Oh my God! We have the
diversity.
numbers.
the hard work, the ethic. No, bro.
So
Like
I
I said,
see your points. Yeah.
there's something fundamentally wrong with us as a people. I don't get it. If you can go back in time and tell Antonio Enaro, Oga, sit down. Do not raise that motion of independence. Please, sit down. We don't need it now. Less than another 20, 30 years, I beg you. I beg of you. But there's also the problem of colonization. So colonizers don't come into your country to develop it like that. They come in to take resources out. The reason why South Africa is lucky is because those guys came to settle. That is why they developed that country the way it is. If it was the British that went to South Africa, bro, they only have Pretoria or Joburg, and after that, everywhere,
Let
you're
me
on
read
your
this
own.
piece from Tundile again. He said in 2015, SBM intelligence released terror in the food basket, one of the most detailed reports of security crisis in the middle belt of Nigeria. As at then, many key food producing areas there had not farmed for 8 years. Another 9 years later, they still don't farm. Now, a food generation is there that's never farmed or been taught farming. Recovery there will be long and hard. If you're looking for a big and lightning rod driver of food inflation, the persistent insecurity in Nigeria's food basket is perhaps the biggest one you can find. Yep. Like every almost every
Yeah.
month in Benue now, you read about herdsmen slaughter, these people killed in conflict. This is the theme, like the states. This thing is the food basket of the nation. Like there's the farming that they know how to grow food, and that is
Yeah.
in short, that is where the federal government should just be focused on to say, you know what, let's secure you people, so that you people will keep going to farm. You are literally the food basket of the nation. Do you
Hmm.
get? They've not been able to farm for
I,
it's more than 10 years. Cool, like, come on.
God damn.
it's
God
tough.
damn.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. It choke.
And that's why I laugh when people say, there are a group of Nigerians that anything that happens, they'll be like, it's the Western world that's behind this. I'm like, you can't keep blaming the Western world. How many years after independence? It's not just possible.
Yeah.
It's not just possible for you to keep blaming the white people for all this. Look at since 1960, we've not been able to deal with fundamental problems in this country. As he said, name one fundamental issue that Nigeria has today that the Nigerian political class has been able to solve:
Yep.
electricity, health, security,
Security,
education.
education,
F9 parallel since 1960.
everything.
So please give me the white man that will still give me a better life. Once in a while, you might call me nigger, fine, bruh. But give me a better life, please. Thank you.
Oh man, I don't know,
Yeah.
man.
And
I don't know,
and
man.
see, you know, as we discuss these things, right? I think one thing that is super important, I think like Nigerians, like generally, have still not realized or are still not clocking is we are not self aware of what's going on.
No, when you
We are
do
not.
list it.
I,
Yes.
listen, I
So
don't think Nigerians are critical enough because I'm so paranoid about this country, and I see that people don't have that same level of paranoia or like. I'm like, do you guys understand what's
No,
happening?
it's a you know what's happening. You know what's happening.
What's happening?
That thing you talk about, like how you can be intelligent but not be
Exposed, yeah, yeah. I understand what you're
exposed.
saying. Yeah,
We're suffering
aware.
from a lot of non-exposure,
yeah, it's
so to
true.
say.
It's true.
Nigerians are not exposed. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Like the average Nigerian is not exposed because clock it. Where is the exposure coming from? We're not exposed. So as you say, oh, people in the West or like in the US, we're watching a video where someone asked someone to mention three countries and they couldn't. You watch all those videos where they interview people on the road and say, oh, what's the capital of Africa? And people start mentioning countries in
yeah,
Africa. Like, and we say, oh, these guys are not exposed. Nigerians are also not exposed. If
Yeah.
we're exposed, you would know that Nigeria is fast becoming a poverty capital in the world.
Fast, no, we already declared the poverty capital during Buhari's time. Shout out to Buhari, for destroying Nigeria 2 times in his lifetime. You know, we are already the
You know,
poverty capital of the world
we
already.
will realize these things. And so when these conversations come up, the first thing to do is always admit and say, okay, this is where we are. How do we move from X to Z, from X to Y? How do we move from point A to point B? But we
Why
are
do you
still
think?
arguing. We're still arguing. And I want to move into the next topic, right?
yeah, yeah,
The multi-choice DSTV topic.
yeah,
Because I keep seeing people argue and argue. And I then realize that, oh, people don't know where we are as a country.
yeah. People
People
don't.
No,
really
they
don't
don't.
understand
They don't.
that 500,000 naira you are making every month in the global scheme of things,
You are in
it's
poverty. You are in
you are
poverty.
poor. You
Yeah,
are poor.
yeah.
And people, also associate the word poor with like abject poverty.
Like penury.
That's not what poverty is.
It's quality of life.
Poverty is on yeah, and on different scales and different levels. And is matched with like what's your educational background, a lot of things. Let's go into this story though. MultiChoice Nigeria announces plans to appeal tribunal's 150 million fine, free subscription.
Yeah.
All right, so MultiChoice Nigeria was recently fined by a competition and consumer protection tribunal the sum of 150 million naira for challenging the court's jurisdiction, right? The decision followed the tribunal's earlier order restraining the pay TV company from increasing its monthly subscription pending the resolution of a lawsuit brought by an Abuja-based lawyer, Festus Onifade. The tribunal also mandated the pay TV company to offer 1 month complimentary subscription to its DSTV and GoTV packages, to its DSTV and GoTV packages to Nigerian customers. In response, MultiChoice issued a statement on Saturday expressing its disagreement with the ruling and confirming its intention to appeal against it. There's a backstory to it. We all know what the backstory is. They announced price increase once
Yeah.
again, and somebody took them to court. It was also mentioned, in the National Assembly, I think sometime last year or maybe early this year as well. I just want to start this thing by saying, I hope, me personally, I genuinely hope MultiChoice pulls out of Nigeria.
I would love it. I would love
I
it.
I
genuinely,
want to watch match again.
When you when
genuinely,
you when you watch NTA and Cassava documentary 3 months in a row, you people you will fly to South Africa and beg them to come back.
because I don't even know how to start to explain how Nigerians are reacting towards this story.
No, you see
Why do
what?
you think a price increase happens? A price increase. Why do you see? And it goes back to what I've been saying, and I've been tweeting about this, and I've seen more people talk about this. Basic math, simple economics, and logic. Every Nigerian needs to go through these three things. If you can't go through these three things, you should not be able to participate in some things. Basic math, simple economics, and logic. It's important. So inflation has hit your country. The value of your currency has dipped by maybe another 20% or 30% in the last 6 months, right?
Mhm.
This company that serves and charges you in naira purchases subscription rights and TV rights from an
Licenses and
international
all.
company and licensing in from another company in FX. It can be in euros, dollars, or pounds. I don't know which one. Let's say dollars. Now, they have been selling it to you at a price, but the value of your currency has then dipped again.
Yeah.
What do you think they need to do to be able to pay or make
Salary.
a profit off the rights that they've paid for, the salaries and everything that
Let me also explain something.
yeah,
These guys are employing your brothers and sisters, your fathers and mothers, your cousins, your nephews, your nieces, like your family members. They're employing them.
direct and indirect
And
employment.
these people who are employed by DSTV MultiChoice expect to be paid salaries every month, and every year or so expect to be promoted and the salary increased, right? Like fair like corporate practices, right? In terms of numerations and salary payments, right? They expect all these things. How do you think they will make this money to be able to fulfill all these things? Like how?
You see the problem, Steve, is that the average Nigerian thinks that DSTV belongs to the country. They see it as an extension of NTA for some reason. They believe it is a socialist venture that everybody should. That's what they keep saying. That's why whenever this thing happens, what does the average Nigerian say? These South Africans are ripping us. They can't do this in their own country. Bro,
Yeah.
this is a private company, right? They've entered into a capitalist economy and they have a right to set their prices according to the forces in the market at that time. But you people think that television is a right that you people that they should have subsidized your access to watch DSTV for you. Is that is not it. DSTV has invested more in Nigerian society in the last 30 years than any TV station in this country,
Yep. one Hundred
whether
percent.
it be private or whether it be public.
100%. In
While our
sports,
TV industry,
in
while our TV industry
entertainment,
has
in
been dwindling,
movies,
yeah,
everything. Yeah.
yeah, while our TV industry has been dwindling, and right now TV in Nigeria is more about selling space to the highest bidder,
Yeah.
DSTV has continued to bring out more programming
Yeah.
that's impacted Nigerians.
Entertainment value. Yeah.
Now, there's another thing that Nigerians do is that when there's a
Can I just chip in? Can I just chip in before you move on to what
yes,
you're saying? When you talked
yeah,
about impacting, there is only one body right now that celebrates Nollywood in Nigeria.
yeah,
Guess who owns it? Guess who owns the
it's
platform?
DSTV.
MVCA. Multi-choice.
I will continue.
So there's this thing that Nigerians do, right? Imagine somebody is sick and you're a doctor and the person is chronically ill. The doctor doesn't face the illness; he faces the symptom. Maybe the symptom is chronic headache. You not keep giving that person Panadol, but you don't take care of that major illness. Why is DSTV? Why are they always increasing the prices of their services and bouquet? It's the economy. But you choose to leave the people who have made sure that your economy is in shambles and that is totally comatose, and you keep focusing on the symptoms. And because you think, oh, they are foreigners, let us deal with them. If Nigerians don't have energy for the government that have put them in this bad situation, but they keep having energy for DSTV. I don't get. You will not give this kind of aggression to your senator that you voted for or you don't know his name, your House of Rep that you don't know his name, the Minister of Telecommunication that is there, or even the president. No, you gotta look out for people who came to set up a business in your country who have also created jobs for people. How many jobs has your senator brought into your constituency in the last 10 years? All the senators there, how many jobs have they brought there? But you see people still giving back to society and you just feel it's your right. Please, I beg you, DSTV, thank you very much. Your 30-year, 40-year sojourn in Nigeria has been blissful. But it seems that these motherfuckers here are very, very ungrateful. Please leave. And we will now face the shambles of the TV industry is in Nigeria.
Two things I want to say here. The first is Nigerians need to understand that we are like people are too poor to pay for cable TV.
Bro,
Do you understand? Like you get what I'm saying? Like you can't afford it. You
you
can't
can't.
afford cable TV.
That's the thing. In their mind, they now believe cable TV is the access that they must get to. Bro, if
You
you don't want
get
to watch cable TV, go and watch terrestrial TV.
like wake up and smell the coffee, guys. Your earnings and the value of your currency with what you earn cannot afford to pay for cable TV. Nigerians need to start realizing these things immediately that oh maybe I can't like what I earn stroke the value of what I earn cannot pay for DSTV anymore. Let me move on. Like people need to start waking up and smelling the coffee. The second
Big
thing
time.
is why is there so much energy for a price increase in cable TV and I don't see this energy replicated in other things? The price of cement has gone up what by how many x? I don't see the energy. The price of food has gone up. The price of groceries gone up. The price, almost everything, fuel, everything.
Everything
Why
has
don't
gone
I
up.
see this energy? Why is nobody suing these people?
Why
Why
didn't
are
the
you
yeah?
suing a cable network that
Mhm.
is just restructuring their price so that they can meet, their own demands?
So as to be fair to Nigerians, right? Is critical thinking that hard everywhere else in the world? Like, is it a Nigerian thing or is just like hard?
It is.
Is it
It
just
is.
difficult?
It is
It's hard, right?
because
So it's not like a
look at your
Nigerian thing.
look at your education. Look at your education.
Look
Yeah.
at
It's
the
crammed to
education.
pass.
Look at how they
It's crammed to
teach. Look,
pass. They don't tell
yeah.
you how to understand what you are doing. It's crammed to pass, basically.
Look, guys, it's in Nigeria. Let's keep it a buck, right? We're all suffering from trauma. And when somebody very close to me explained that, Osage, we're all going through trauma in Nigeria. And even we that left Nigeria will go through trauma. It was LD that was explaining this to me. And I was like, trauma, no, we're just like, resilient people struggle. He said, no, it's trauma. That you stand at the bus, a bus comes to pick you, going to a destination. and then people need to rush and push themselves away to enter the bus.
Yeah.
And then when you are dropping, the bus doesn't stop. The bus expects you to jump out of the bus running. He said, Osagie, it's trauma. And and I sat down and I thought about it and I agreed with him. And that's just one example. It's trauma. Think about it, Ayo. You're about to drop
Please.
from a bus.
And
The
I said,
driver doesn't stop and says, the conductor then says, hey, okay, you can do it. Get off the bus. Keep running. And then you run. Three of us here, we have seen people alight from the bus that way and fall down on their face.
3 people, all of us have even jumped before.
We've jumped. I'm even saying we
Yeah.
know people we saw
Of
when
course.
they jumped and they fell and the bus
Yes,
kept
definitely.
moving.
Yeah.
Do you understand? That's one example. Another example is you go to a hospital because it's an emergency. Someone has been injured, maybe shot, whatever, right? And then at the hospital, where the primary purpose is to save a life, they look at you and say, go and get a police report before we treat this person. We don't care if he dies or not.
Yeah.
That is trauma. That is trauma. But let's move away from that. Let's get back into the DSTV thing. So the first thing I said was what? Nigerians need to realize that they can't afford cable TV anymore.
Yeah.
So take that energy to whoever you need to take the energy to, not the subscription
Private company.
provider.
And this is not the first time that this is happening, right? Growing up,
Bro, this
cable
thing was
TV
raised up in the Senate now. It was raised up in
No, no. I'm not,
the upper house
not
now.
this DSTV thing, not being able to afford DSTV. So what has happened is just what's happening now is people are finding how to adjust their lifestyle again. So what happened was that when we were
Yeah.
growing up, cable TV was
Yeah.
primarily for the elites. Like when we
Yeah,
see a
it was.
satellite dish in
Upper class,
front of someone's
upper middle
house,
class.
thank you,
Yes.
an upper
Yeah, I
middle
agree.
class. But I remember seeing, remember being like in my where I grew up, right? Remember knowing that a sign of a satellite dish is like a sign of like
Yes.
upper middle class or elites, like or
Yes.
rich.
Symbol of wealth.
Yes.
That's how I
Yeah.
grew up. I don't know how you guys grew up in Lagos. That growing up,
That's
that's how
how
we
I grew
saw
up
it.
too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So over
And the big
time, what
satellite
happened was
dish.
that 1999 happened, the economy, that economy boom happened, and the middle class expanded, right? Where everybody,
Fantastic.
generator and DSTV became. Also, generator was also
Every day.
generator was also that thing that only the elite had. We know that when we have
Yes.
light, these people will still get light because they had generator, they were rich. So
Yes.
the thing happened, everyone
Yes.
started getting it. We're now back to that 96,
Yes.
97 era where it's the same thing and it's difficult people to
Yeah.
readjust. And that's why this
I'm telling
anger is
you.
coming from. Simple.
And we are
I'm telling you, with the rate at which we are going, they will
Yeah.
start importing kerosene lantern again.
Thank you, bro.
Yes, sir.
The sawdust thing is already a thing. The sawdust is
Yeah.
the sawdust thing is already a thing now. I see it.
Yeah.
It's already a thing now. The sawdust thing is already a thing. So that all those inventions for like low cost cooking methods will start coming up again, like it was in 96,
Yeah.
95, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Candles are
yeah.
back in business.
Thank you.
Kerosene lanterns are back in
Thank
business.
you. So this
We
is
use
the problem.
kerosene lantern in my house, right? And I'm just looking at it. Look at the health,
The health-
the
yeah,
health
bro.
effects
Bro.
of burning kerosene in your house
In your
and the smoke,
house.
because you can't see the smoke. But we used to see the smoke. If the wick
Yeah.
is dirty, you
Yeah,
see the
it's-
black.
yeah.
If the
Yes,
new
now.
wick, you probably won't see it. But you know that the thing is bad for you. Guess what? The glass gets dirty.
Yeah, glass dirty. The pot, everything gets dirty. Everything gets dirty. You have to like
Yeah.
wash them. Come on.
So we were inhaling that kerosene thing. We're inhaling it. What's the other one? The mosquito coil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Those things, the health risks, the health risk in those things.
Yeah.
And then we look and say, oh, the average life of Nigerians is in what? Is not more than 50. This is what
this
it is.
why. Yeah, this is why it is. Yeah. So, what
So,
it is that we're getting back
again-
to that level again, and I think people are struggling. People have become entitled to that lifestyle, right? You have to stop being entitled to it because the economy now demands that you cut down on those things, and there's nothing wrong. Growing up, let me tell you, listen. That's why viewing center became very, very big because not everybody had
Yeah, of course, people couldn't afford it now.
people
Yeah.
couldn't afford
Yeah.
it. So DSTV in the last 5-6 years, if you see the DSTV viewing centers, Now there was now a reduction of people who go to viewing centers. It's no longer as filled up.
Yes,
It's no longer
Yeah.
it's dwindled.
it's dwindled.
Especially
It's
when
doing
you're in
good.
the main city. Maybe if you
Thank
go to the
you. Maybe
outskirts
if you go
where
to the outskirts, thank you
the
very much.
earning power is low, you can still
If,
see them. But like
even
in the
thank
city,
you.
it has
Thank
reduced.
you. Right. So like so the way I calculate it, the
You
way I
can
think about
literally
this
sign
thing,
up and watch it on your mobile phone now.
thank you.
Distribution is also better.
Thank you. The way I calculate this thing now is I calculate it with the like Lagos, Asaba, and Agbo. That's how I wage this thing. Even in Agbo, viewing centers in the last 6, 7 years had reduced. You go there, it's smaller now. It's way smaller
Yeah.
now because they can't they don't have that big crowd anymore. So what is happening right now is Nigerians are refusing to go back to that stage, right? Without necessarily being able to afford it, and that's why the conversation like this come up.
But my problem is why is it on entertainment that people are shouting the most? Because they are buying the
No,
expensive cement now.
they're buying expensive
They are
food.
buying the expensive food.
Thank you.
They are not screaming to anybody to shut anybody down. So why is
Let me tell you
DSTV
why.
a
Let me
public
tell you why.
culprit?
There's a xenophobic feeling to it. Is it like I mentioned? Oh, South
Yeah.
Africans are ripping off stuff. Two, for food and for other things, you can't hold one company responsible. But for DSTV, you can because it's only them that provide Premier League services and stuff like that. That the only that the main cable TV company in the country. The other guys
Yeah.
don't have effective programming to even capture anybody.
Also, yeah. Also, Nigerians are very big into escapism,
Yeah,
escaping from our problems. Let's look for the thing that will make us happy. So when you are on your when you get home, just switch on your TV, boom, you've escaped Nigeria's wahala. Now that you can't have it anymore, you are forced to face what is going on in the country. And many Nigerians, like we all know, don't like to face the reality of our problems. So that is why they keep shouting and hey, DSTV has to go there, DSTV is cheating us and all that. But hey, you people are not even applying pressure on NTA
yeah.
that government pays their salary for, and they cannot even just update their services and just educate, entertain, inform the Nigerians. You can't.
There's something I want to talk about again. Okay, are you done? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, there's something I want to talk about. I think Nigerians, I think there's a struggle, right, with I think cutting down and just living like beyond your means, right? And I say,
Within your means.
yeah, within your means. Sorry, I say this with all possible like humility. It's not a must to watch DSTV. So I don't understand this conversation anytime this something happened. Like Osagie was mentioning that even Nigerians are supporting them, are supporting the tribunal, the Senate talking about multi-choice. Nigerians are supporting them. The reason why they are because they're entitled to it. Why are you entitled to DSTV? It's not a must to afford like to have DSTV in your house. If you love Premier League so much, go outside and watch it. It's
Go to a
simple.
lounge.
There's also this thing about with DSTV for the longest of time. So when any other cable network comes, you see a lot of Nigerians championing that cable network, right? And championing. Of course, the cable network ends up failing or can't deliver, etc.
Because
But I've seen that
they don't have
happen like
resources.
a lot
Yeah.
of times. I would say there's somebody on Twitter. His name is his name is I underscore underscore Ilemona, right? And he's been tweeting a series of things about this whole price increase and all of that, and how Nigerians should stop complaining. So he quoted a tweet. The quoted tweet says, "I'm of the opinion that they find a working model they find a working model for Nigerians. I heard Nigerians pay more than some countries. For example, South Africa. I don't know how true this is though. Like this is where I say we need like simple economics. You need to go and just look at the GDP of South Africa and then look at the GDP of Nigeria, right? And then look at where your the strength of both currencies are. I remember when I did a breakdown of how much people play for Netflix in Nigeria versus pay for Netflix in South Africa, and we pay 40% less
Yeah.
than for the same content that they are consuming in SA. So like why is Netflix, we talked about Prime Video leaving. Why do you think Prime Video left?
They're not
They were
making the money
charging
they're
what?
supposed to make.
They were charging maybe 1.5 a month. And you're looking at 1.5 and they charge people in Europe and 9.99. They charge in SA way more. So why should they shoot all these movies and do all these things if the primary target audience is in Nigeria? How do they make their money from subscriptions?
They know
It's
they
no
can't make their
money.
money back. Yeah.
So this guy says, so he quoted the tweet, this I am Ilemona, and quoted the tweet and says, Nigeria paid the cheapest rate for DSTV. Premium in South Africa is $49.36. Premium in Kenya is $78. Premium in Nigeria is $26. Compact Plus in South Africa is $33. In Kenya is $48. In Nigeria, just $18. Compact, that's Compact Plus. Compact is $25 in SA, $27 in Kenya, and $11. It's so amusing to see Nigerians complain about milking when we pay the least.
Also,
Now, a breakdown of
mhm,
DSTV customers. DSTV has 21.6 million customers, right? South Africa is 8.6. The rest of Africa, including Nigeria, is 13.6 million. The revenue SA brings for DSTV is 58%. The rest of Africa brings what? 37%. And Nigeria will be screaming, we are the largest market. We are the largest market. We are the white elephant. We are the this one. We are the
with no
Gbagba
purchasing
titi.
power.
We are the Gbogbo titi.
I
Some
want
guy
to ask
says,
one simple question
we're
again.
seriously, the guy says, are we seriously saying that we can't do away with DSTV? What content are they offering that would make me pause a Brother Shaggy skit on IG? Or what musical channel would publicize Nas Boy's songs the way he does? I need to watch a movie I sub on Netflix. I have better alternatives. The guy replies and says, I'm seriously saying Nigerians need to realize that our market is poor.
They don't understand.
And
Yes.
if you want to go and watch your DSTV and everything, that's okay. But you're also paying for data.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You're also paying for data. And it's
Yeah,
not,
they're
it's
not
not,
having that.
not everybody can consume that. Me, I see, you know what me I want? I really want DSTV to just live for like 6 months and let's see. I mean, competitors will come into the space, Start Times, the Chinese guys, all those guys, they will come into the space and all that, right? I just want to see how these people that are saying, oh, let's do away with XYZ. I want to see NTA go to the
The
Premiership
Premier
and
League
buy
and,
the
and,
rights.
and then negotiate the
Yes,
right and buy them. Yeah.
and buy the rights.
But
Do you know how much it
I
costs?
sure do know that they're shutting down Aston Villa versus Arsenal because of a campaign a campaign rally in Yobe.
Of course, in Yobe now, definitely now. Are you mad? APC campaign rally in Yobe. Why are you watching
Do
football?
you understand? Somebody said Nigerians will buy Gary 4,500 naira per paint bucket without noise. They only know maths when DSTV is
Yeah,
involved.
so the gist.
Also, I want to
You
add
know,
something, right? The years of military rule, right, where everything was subsidized, socialism, when they really brought out socialism to Nigeria, has ingrained in that sense of entitlement to Nigerians that basic things, that things in life should not be um, expensive. So we believe that, oh, this thing should be cheap, this should be cheap. No, that thing was the reason why military did that was because they could not even offer, they could not upgrade all the essentials that we need in our country.
Bro,
Now
did you
that we are
guys
facing the
Nigeria's been
reality,
living off.
yeah.
Yeah,
yes, Nigeria was
Did
a
you guys
subsidized
see
nation for decades now.
Yeah, it's true.
yeah.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah,
Did you guys see that tweet of someone saying if you increase minimum wage to 100 and something thousand naira, I'm going to start selling my products to times two of his price, and everybody start attacking
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, they wanted to kill him.
They want to kill him.
They wanted to kill that
But
guy.
you're not asking him
yeah,
how he is going to afford to pay the same people he has employed twice their salary. You're not
yes,
asking him how he's going to get the
No,
money.
yes. With the
I've told
new
you
wage, with
people,
the new salary
basic
structure.
maths, simple economics, and logic. Nigerians don't
Mhm.
have it. We need to
Yeah,
teach it. Okay, let's get into some fan mail. Let's get into some fan mail. Who's excited about fan mail?
But always
yep, I'm
excited
here.
about Pamela. Always.
Always excited. Always excited. All right, this is
Yeah.
from N. N says, hello, Loose Talk. Currently listening to the latest episode, The Boy Child. I'm currently at the stage where Osagie attempted to explain to Steve why the boy child is not as spoken about today. Osagie justified his position by saying women were not allowed to vote. While this is usually used to justify the elevated interest in the girl child, we must be aware that that's not the African story or history. Women have never been denied to vote in Africa. Africans see women at the core of growth and civilization. Africa didn't just produce prominent queens, they also were they were also warriors. Till today, the Yorubas don't joke or don't just elect kings until a woman sanctions it. We use this American or Western rhetoric to paint the world. Whatever mentality Africans have towards women or the girl child was inherited from colonial positioning. It's important to note that there's a disparity in the attention between the boy child and the girl child. The future of the former might be an inadequate one. P.S. I have a podcast called Collide. It's a collision between Gen Z and Millennial. That should be interesting. Give it a search or give it a listen by searching Collide with J1, JFest 12 and Grod on Spotify. All right, shout out to you. All right, this is from the UAE Agbero. Says,
Hmm.
this fan mail has been long overdue, and I thought of doing a two in one. Apologies if this is not going to be short. All right, they give apologies, then they go on to make it as long as ever. I don't know. Anyways, I've been an OG listener through different iterations of the pod, even the facts only days. Shout out to you. And I'd like to thank you for the gems, invaluable insights, and backstories over the years. I discovered the pod while studying in the UK. It provided me a live connection with events back home. It was fascinating to see how Afrobeats transitioned and became accepted in the UK around 2012, 2013. I met you all at Native Land events the year SDC, Steve Diddy Canada got married. I am a calm and composed individual, but I couldn't contain my excitement on that December day. The pod was akin to gisting with you, Elder Egbons. You guys tagged me as a London Agbero from then on. These were the early days of the OG pod, and Osagie hadn't delved into the SoundCloud backend to understand its global impact. Never meet your heroes. True, true. Side note, London Agbero is now UAE Agbero as of January 2024.
Ooh.
PS AOT2 was spot on in the Be Delusional episode. There's a lot of payola over here in the UAE. Money needs to be exchanged for these things to get done quickly. For instance, an Uber driver wanted to charge me 50 dirhams, about 20,000 Nigerian naira, to return a charging cable I forgot in his car. I was disgusted and I told him to eat the cable. Old men for counsel, young men for war, as Osags would say. Now to my dilemma. Now only babe matter. Make make me write an epistle.
Oh God.
Anyways, heeding loose talks life lessons on love and financial freedom, I made a list of wants when I moved back to Nigeria. Having a second passport was a top requirement for any babe I wanted to have a serious relationship with. This is Ayo. This is Ayo's work.
I'm
This is Ayo's
open-minded,
work.
please. I don't know what you're talking
This is
about.
He says, I know it sounds strange, but I stuck by it. I own one myself. Congrats to you. Short form, I did not stick to my top requirements. I take full responsibility for how things transpired and right to get a married man's POV on this matter and the leader of the CBIC. That's Mr. Oetitu. I met this babe through work. Work romance can be dicey and I tend to avoid them, but not on this occasion. We were both corporate professionals progressing upwards in our fields. The relationship snuck up on me and lasted for 2 years before I relocated to the UAE. It was off and on, or on and off, with both of us initiating breaks. In the early stages, she once ended things via an email, citing serious relationships only. Who gets dumped via an email? It started
Cold.
with dropping her at her workplace in the mornings, then one or two dates, and eventually cohabiting whenever I needed space from my family. It was an organic growth, peaceful, comfortable, maybe too comfortable. She held me down and made sacrifices, especially in tough times. She even ran an adjust saving cycle for me and made sure I collected first to ease cash flow. Her love was unwavering, and I even slipped in the cost of bride price in a conversation jokingly. Like he even slipped in the cost of bride price. As for how things ended, there came a time for a difficult conversation about the future. I wasn't in the best space with work. There was no such thing as love without money. I told her that the only way to survive was to go to Jackpa. She was on board, but the stumbling block was the second passport. My thinking was, would you marry this babe? My answer was not a no, but a maybe. Maybe if things fall into place. We have had little to no issues overall. The cohabitation felt like a trial marriage. I met her siblings and mom, but this wasn't vice versa. I am naturally more private. It's important to note that this maybe needed a lot of craft and strategic planning. It was feasible, but I didn't want to ask her to wait for me. I knew my tough times wouldn't last, but I made a selfish decision to sever ties when it came to crunch time. We aren't on speaking terms, and the final split was treated as a transaction. Everyone brought their terms and conditions. LOL. Nowadays, random credit alerts to her, even birthday wishes, go unanswered. I fumbled the whole thing, which is uncharacteristic of me. As I mentioned earlier, I am a calm individual who factors in more logic than emotion in decision making. It's been almost a year since the split, mid 2023, and moving on has been slow. I do not track her socials, so I'm in the dark about her life now. New candidates are opportunists or need to stack up on my list. Guys, there's nothing outside. I knew this before the splits, but my judgment and reasoning could have been better, which led to a mismanagement of affairs. I value different perspectives on any situation, and I like to learn from the experiences of others. The real kicker in all of this: one, my male friends who I confided in and who had complete context said, no brainer, marry this angel and we will crowdfund the bride price. Two, my female friends who I confided in and who had complete context said, is it jazz? Why succumb to Stockholm syndrome? Three, the married female friends with no context said, why would a man propose on a maybe? The F? My perspective during all of this was how we go run am. I felt deeply indebted to her, and this was a genuine partnership that will flourish. One or two refinements were needed, but no deal breakers, except passport because of Japa. She has a family worldwide, and we must force on an exit strategy. The age gap is 3 years. I turned 30 this year, and my family members have since begun with prayers and then queries. Where is your wife? Like they gave me a wife to keep for them. Subconsciously, all the wedding proposals on IG since the split have left me feeling like I missed a trick. But hey, all fingers are not equal, and everyone's race is different. I hope I have provided enough context. Once again, I acknowledge my privileged position and I appreciate your feedback. My dilemma: A. Be delusional. Where there's a will, there's a way. Become the minister of power for her village. 2. Let things go. All things have passed away and change is constant. 3. Seek closure, then face my front. It was always real. 4. Face your front. No need to open old wounds. This is just a fallacy of sunk costs. PS. I'd like to connect with any loose stock giant in the UAE, Dubai area. So if you guys are listening, please. But you say you want to be anonymous, so I can't put any of your details out. Yeah. So if you're in the UAE, Dubai area, I'm going to leave this job to well, I'm going to leave this job to Steve. Please DM Steve if you want to connect with Anonymous here, and then we'll do the exchange for you guys. Steve, are you okay with that?
I'm always okay for Lusto. Come on now.
Okay.
100%.
And this next paragraph, I hadn't even read this next paragraph, but it tells I'm now confident that you will help this young man out if anybody reaches out. Also, as an Arsenal fan, congratulations to United on the FA Cup win. However, we will protest any money from Usags and AOT2 when United again have a negative goal difference next season. Thank you for reading my long mail. Cheers, guys. UAE Agbero. All right. We're going to first reach out to our relationship expert for his own wise. Why are you laughing now?
Which
Why are you
relationship
laughing? Let me
expert?
finish talking now.
All right, now.
For his wise, for his wealth, we're reading out for his wealth of wisdom, and every other thing that comes with it. Steve Dede, please go ahead. This
See,
young man is in.
some contents might have been lost on me. Why didn't he kept mentioning something about the bride price. Was he expensive?
I suppose
So
at
okay,
at
listen.
the time,
From this
at the
email that we
time when he
read,
was in Nigeria. Yes.
okay, one was in it. From this email that we read, what caused the split? Asags.
From the email that I read, he was
Yeah.
on a maybe trip.
Why was it? Because of maybe he wasn't financially ready or what? Like
I need to put some background
that's
music here. Sorry, I'm listening to you.
this guy.
All right, let's go because it's a romantic one. I'm listening to you, please. What was the question you were asking?
No, but I wanted to get more context because it's a long match. We were reading. Maybe I lost some like of the context. Like, why did what
Yeah,
caused the split? Really?
because when he asked himself, "Is this? Am I ready to like continue with this person?" He ended up with maybe, not yes or no.
Maybe, yeah, not yes or no. Um,
And there was the whole thing
it's
around the second not having the second passport. That was also
yeah,
like a contributing factor and all that. Yeah, the bride price was on the high side apparently, as at the time when he was in Nigeria.
yeah. So we don't know his financial capabilities now.
Yeah,
Um, it's a tough one, right? It's two things can be happening here. You can be just be missing her just because you've not been lucky to find someone better, or you right because in the talk say streets rough or something like that.
I think he
Um,
feels he fumbled the bag.
yeah, it feels he fumbles it back. Like there's a
Yeah,
hint of regret with everything that he's saying, and in hindsight and in looking at where you are right now, you know, is she the one that you want to be with? It's a simple question, really. Is she the one that you want to be with? If she's the one, my brother, you go back. You guys are not definitely enemies. There's a way there you can contact her and just make things right. But um, do not let do not let these things eat you up that much, right?
no, no, no.
Why we,
Mister, words of wise wisdom, or words of
yeah,
wisdom rather. We can't just like we need to dig in deep.
yeah.
I don't want us to jump over it and say don't let these things affect you. It is affecting him. Do you understand? Prescribe him a drug that will sort this problem out. Which is, does he need to go back to her, or does he put the options there? Should he,
What are the
where there's
options?
a will, there's a way. The first one, he said, be delusional. Where there's a will, there's a way. Do I go back and get and sort this thing out, or do I just let things go, or do I seek closure? Go and meet her and tell her to her face, this is what happened, this is what happened, and then tell her it was always real and keep it moving, or should he just face his front? He has given himself four options here. We need to
Oh, yeah,
pick
nah,
one.
you should go and seek closure.
You should go and seek closure. You think you
Because
think it's too late?
two things will happen with seeking closure. Two things happen with seeking closure.
If you enter the building, the two of them just see the Lulu.
Closure don't show me pepper, my brother. Say we go
Closure,
seek closure. So we go seek closure.
closure.
While I just D. You understand?
Just a
So
wait for you.
so it's always recommended. So closure gives you a clearer picture of should I continue. Closure does not mean sometimes closure. So just seek closure. I think it gives you an opportunity to talk to her again, have conversations with her, and also know if is the right moment or she's the right person to is the right it's right to get back with her and take things to the next level or just move on bata. So just seek closure and talk to her and seek closure. That's my only advice. Yeah.
Yeah, I see your point, Steve. Most especially because we can't treat this as a one-sided
Thank
relationship. Do
you.
you understand?
Yes.
The lady too has feelings. We don't know if she's
Thank
in a
you.
relationship, if she has moved on. Where is she
Yeah.
mentally? A lot of things she wants to process, and I'm sure she's also looking to seek closure.
Yeah.
Is it that
Yeah.
thing about seeking closure is very important too, and it doesn't
It
even have
is.
to do with romantic relationships. At times, it can just be I'm seeking closure with somebody, and it's not even
Yeah, it's
a
true. It's true. It's true.
it's not
Because
even
I have
it's not even
a it's
you
true.
know
Because
I'm
yeah.
seeking closure. Like, man, what went wrong? Like,
What
what's
went
up?
wrong? What happened? Yeah.
Like, let's
But
review
you
this whole thing.
it's
You
true.
know,
It's true.
so
Yeah.
things like that happen. I'm seeking closure in a couple of things, not just even one or two or
It's
three.
true. It's true.
So she might also be seeking closure, and you guys might just talk it out. And if you see there's an avenue or there's a space for it to happen again, fam, let it happen.
Yeah.
But I
Asagi,
think
you
option
got me in
is
that
better.
seeking closure mood one time, but I fought it, I refused.
Who
Pause.
seeking closure for me?
No, not for you, like
Like,
there's some relationships that you reached, like some people you reached out to that I knew about. I'm like, oh, well, it makes sense. So should I reach out to this other person that I had?
yeah.
I'm like, man, fuck off. Man, I don't agree.
No, there's some where you
Hey,
go.
hard
You know
man.
what? Yeah, no, there's somewhere you go. I hope you die.
How to die,
You know,
nigga.
it's I hope you die. No,
Yeah,
but
I
that's an
understand.
extreme case.
I
You
know
get
what
what
you're
I'm
saying.
saying? There's some you're
Yeah, I
like,
get it.
there's some you think about it and you're like, you know what? Can I really review this thing? But you then look at it and say, the injustice that was done back then. You're a
Thank
crazy person.
you.
I'm not. I'm
Yeah,
not.
it's true.
No. You are.
I know, yeah,
Yeah. Don't talk to me. Cut off.
yeah, it's true.
But there's somewhere you just want to say what went wrong.
Yeah,
And it
I
bothers
agree.
you, and it bothers you for years. You
True.
know, I have somebody like that was very close to me, and we don't talk anymore. And I just always want to reach out and say, well, then again,
Which
why won't I reach
yeah,
out? It's pride. It's pride
Pride,
yeah,
man.
that hasn't made me reach out. It's pride, and the pride is not even, oh, why me? I can reach out, but sometimes it's not pride. Maybe it's fear of
rejection.
not, yes, and fear of not closing. Working on that,
Is
completing
it
the
legit? Is it legit? These fears, are they, is this something that we should be allowed to fester in us?
to be honest, the right thing to do is just to close it out and reach out and
Yeah.
close it out. Wait, guess what? You know the interesting thing. Interesting thing is that this person reached out to this person, right? We sorted it out. Then I don't know what happened again,
Hmm.
right? There was a third party involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think the third party noticed, maybe the third party figured out that we had sorted out our issue, and then the third
yeah.
party came again and did some manipulation. And
Ah,
then he returned to what it was before, and that's how
what
it
it
has
was
been for.
before.
That's how it's been
Okay.
for over half a decade.
Wow.
Damn, half a decade is
You
long.
understand? And then
That's
you want to
wild, though.
reach out and say, what really happened? Like, what's up? And the thing is that if this person is your friend and you miss moments in their lives and they miss moments in your lives, well, I
Yeah,
guess, if you eventually make up, that's just a lot of things to catch up on.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Okay.
enough
Okay.
about me and us.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
back to the UAE Agbero.
yeah.
My brother, it's very simple, man. Go and seek that closure because you can
Security.
never tell. You can never
Yeah,
tell. Go and seek that closure, and you'll feel better.
yeah.
So shout out to you. All right, this is from Anonymous. I'm barely 5 minutes into the podcast, and I already feel like dragging Osags through the phone. Like, come on, bro. I trust Steve would give pushback, but I actually mumbled, nah, f that, and f all the people he was giving a shout out to because of this anthem change. Ah,
Wow. What happened? What happened?
guys, it's important. It's important. We talked about basic maths. We talked
Yeah.
about simple economics. We talked about
Mm-hmm.
logic. I think one
Yeah.
thing we have to mention that is very important, and I've seen happen on social media, and I've seen happen with just relating to people, is how to identify sarcasm.
Yeah.
It's important. My
Mm.
people, is important. If not, you'll
Yeah.
just be getting annoyed for no reason. Please. Okay, let me continue. I know you're probably trolling. I wasn't exactly.
Uh-huh.
It's like,
Exactly.
so
That's the
why you got
point.
vex? Why you go
Why you
anonymous?
call
Why you
it
got
best?
vex? I got vex for me. You say you're mad at me. You dragging me. Can't drag now. Can't drag. I dey wait you. I dey wait you now. It says, I know you're probably trolling and will probably toe the line that elections have consequences. Yes, they do. But let's not pretend like the Nigerian people didn't give some pushback to the man's ascension into power. You're talking about
Yeah.
the grand commander of the Federation of the Republic
It's in
of
a man.
Nigeria as the man. That's your president. Come
Demands.
on. Come on. And to the man's ascension. Don't do that. That's the GCFR. Come on. Anyway, the speed with which it was done just shows it's just a flex. Why would we bother with an anthem? Because you have no achievements to mark your 1 year in office, and we're trying to roll back the years. To say the quiet part out loud, make we no lie, na the one wey e remember be this. A wise government would have resolved and used the minimum wage issue as a good example of an achievement of 1 year in office. But what do I know? Osags, abeg, use the same energy you used on the beef conversation on this one too. Do not gaslight your audience. Anonymous.
Wow.
Sarcasm,
Anonymous.
sarcasm, sarcasm.
Anonymous.
In
Anonymous.
italic
This thing
font.
that you are pushing me to, e get why that graphics, our graphics guy, our resident, creative director, let me even upgrade him, right? There's a reason why he put a zip on my own mouth. Oh. I
Because
don't know if you saw the picture. Because if I start, now you go come reach out to me, say, "Oh, Sax, please take it easy." There's a reason why I'm towing this road. Please don't take me back to this is PCO Sags forever. I beg. I just go beg you. Don't go and wake up the monster in me, and then I will start. Then the podcast will now start trending for the wrong reasons, or people will start looking for me. But I get your point. Everybody has a right to get mad at this whole thing. What can we do? I can only joke about it, in my way to pass the message. It's also a skill set that you can use to pass the message. Because we can't come here and start shouting like Alex Jones, on the podcast every day. People also need to relax and
I even think we even talk about Nigerian problems too much, and yet people are
do
still
you
enjoying it.
understand?
I'm telling
Do
you.
you
too
understand?
much.
This episode
Yeah.
now, we've not even talked about music. We've not talked about, other things. So we need to even relax it a bit. I think Nigeria's wahala is getting too much. So we need to. So
Mhm.
lead researcher, please help us
All right, sure.
tweak it a bit. But yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I understand. I understand. I get you. All right. But please don't be saying this man's. Don't say that again. That's your president. It's my
Yes,
president.
bro.
There's nothing you can do about it. When it is in 2027, let everybody go and do what? Let us go and vote. Now, don't only just think about and this is what I'm mentioning. Everybody's saying president, president, president. Where is the energy towards the people that passed the bill?
Yep.
Nowhere.
Your
Again,
lawmakers.
do you understand? Upper house, lower house, we vote these people into power. If we do not have the same energy towards these people as we do towards
Presidents.
the federal arm of the government, we are wasting our time. We are wasting our time. They are the ones that passed the bill. If he raised the bill or he brought the bill and they said no, get out, what do you think will happen? They can't enact the law.
They can't sign it into law.
They can't. So where is the energy? Which I think, I don't know, I'm sure there will be, but someone needs to create a user friendly database of all lawmakers in the country representing each um,
Constituency.
constituency, right? With their names, their pictures, where they represent, and which laws. The problem we have now is which laws they vote for,
Because
or
we don't have that.
because
We don't have
it's
that.
not documented. They still do the A's or nays.
Mm-hmm. And it's on
Do you
purpose.
understand?
They do it on purpose. So that you
It's
can't
left
trace
in the
their
dark.
electoral
It's
For
voting.
2024.
accountability, yeah. To escape accountability, yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
You understand? This is
Yeah.
2024, and I cannot see. How can I not know
All the
which
bills that you sponsored,
What
yeah,
my senator, what my
or
senator is voting
as a
for.
lawmaker.
how can I not know what is
So
going
how do
on?
you
What
even
they
ask for re-election? How do you campaign for re-election? Man,
You settle
this is us talking about. This is us
no, you
talking
settle all
about
the Oma
problems again.
Adubos. You settle all the Egma
Uh,
Adubos. Finish. That's
yeah,
all.
this is us talking about the problems again. There's no need.
Yeah, we're talking about the problems again. We shouldn't be doing
Uh,
that.
yeah,
So, Anonymous, you see, as we don't start now, the matter don't. You see where the
you
matter
don't,
don't
you
reach.
don't tie rapper.
So I beg,
Hmm.
make I just the hail everybody. All protocols observed, including you, Anonymous.
Shortly
All
to the first
protocols observed.
email. Shortly before we
Yes.
move on to the first email, who talked about we having Western narratives or rhetorics for the whole women inequality. I agree with you to an extent, but we also have, the our own concept of inequality that we've dealt with in the concerning women, right? So while the specific narrative rhetoric might be Western of Western context, the overall context of inequality that women have suffered the most also applies to African culture, no matter what you try to use to argue for it, right? We have so many cases of families not sending their daughters to school because they don't see the need, early marriages in the north, like stuff like that. We saw a video where 16, 15-year-old girls from the east were what's the word, taken to Ghana to do prostitution, right? So stuff like that,
human trafficking.
trafficking, were trafficked to Ghana. So the context like that is why the inequality, the overarching theme of inequality that women suffer, it also applies to us, right? That's just my contribution.
Thank you very much, our lead researcher. And with that, we come to the end of this episode of Loose Talk. We'll catch you guys next week. I say unto you, Alvidice, au revoir, hasta la vista, arrivederci, adios,
Odabo.
odabo,
That's
kachifo,
happy Monday.
sego,
Wishing you guys a great
segobe.
week.
Oh yeah, and
Segobe.
guys,
Bye,
shout out for all the public holidays that are coming. June 12th, Salah. This is the big
This
Salah.
guy.
All our Muslim friends, this is the big Salah. We know this one now. You kill Kai in this one.
Pull up, we're pulling
You're
up.
pulling up, pulling up. My name is Abijabbar. So you're pulling up, I'm pulling up to your house.
Peace, yo.
All right, guys. Peace.